Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, aka Litecoin Lisa, and have I got a treat for you? My buddy, the one, the only, the godfather of crypto for the Davis household, Weir, is joining us today on Happy Hour, as well as my bestie, Clint Westwood. He'll be here, so grab something red. Wearing red for everyone deployed, remembering everyone deployed. That's what we do every Friday. And grab a little swig of your favorite beverage and join us on the other side of this. But give us a like first and share this video. Be right back right after this. Welcome, welcome. Happy Friday, you guys. Thanks for joining us, Vix. And I made
Let me
it.
get my cocktail.
Cheers.
That's what I'm drinking. A Kona Spiked Island Seltzer.
What is Kona?
It's
Spike.
it's from
It's in
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
From Hawaii. It says
Made
0%
in
fat, 0% sodium, 0% carbs, 0% sugar, 0% added, 0% phosphate, and that's all they have on the ingredients. Why even put it there if it's
I
0?
was going to say, the label just says, you're drinking nothing.
And it's
100% alcohol.
gluten free too.
Gluten-free nothingness. Cheers. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Super excited. So we're leading up to the Team Mighty Mia celebration. This year we're celebrating some really amazing people, and they're part of the crypto fam, and we're going to be able to support and help somebody in the crypto fam who's fighting cancer right now. Amazing person, Mame Crypto. You guys know her from my show and on Twitter and all of that. And she's just a warrior and has like such a sweet spirit, and she's just constantly smiling every time I check in on her. Her daughter's back home with her now. She's, recovering enough to be, mommy again and taking care of her daughter. And so she's really grateful for all the help and the support of the community. She won't be able to travel. Her doctor said she can't travel. So we're going to stream her in because we know how to do all that stuff with our magical internet friends. And I'm also offering an opportunity if you're unable to physically get to Oklahoma City, but you want to support Mame and the work we're doing at Team Mighty, and you'd like to be part of the stream or watch the stream, I can send you, I'll have a private link for people that you can watch the stream, and you'll be able to bid on auction items as well, because we have an online auction option that we worked out last year that worked really well. So the link is in the description to do all that. Get here though if you can, because we're gonna have the best time. So Bix, you're gonna sing us little songs.
A little kumbaya.
A
Sounds
little
good to me.
kumbaya while you're here. I heard you have a new weapon of what was his name? The guy, he's from Oklahoma. Woody Guthrie? Is it Woody Guthrie?
Oh,
This
yeah.
machine kills fascists on his guitar.
Yeah.
What would you write and put on your guitar?
Truthfully, may the road you choose be the right road.
Right.
That's where I am. I'm just sitting comfortably in my lawn chair, watching the craziness.
Watching happen.
There's been I've noticed amongst all my friends and everybody in cryptos and in the silver side, there's a calm coming over everybody. It's like, oh yeah, you can arrest Trump all you want.
Right.
It's not going to matter in the end. We've already won. We don't care.
Yeah, because the slave machine was always fiat. It wasn't all these other, the noise, and it's the media panic that we see that lets us know that the truth is coming out. This is all the stuff that's been hidden from us for all these years, right?
I mean, we've prepared. So this is why we prepared, so we can just chill out at this time.
Yeah. I think it's also a little bit of resting for. I watched a video with Robert Kiyosaki and our friend that you introduced us to, Andy Sheckman, with Miles Franklin, and he's of course got his finger on the pulse of everything silver and precious metals markets, and Robert Kiyosaki talked about. I didn't know he's former military. He's a Marine, and he talked about being trained and that he flew helicopters in Vietnam, and he said so to prepare them, they dropped them off like in the ocean when it was freezing, and then had them swim in and go in through the swamp. And they were like a group of, I don't know if it was a platoon, I don't know the term, but a group of 7 guys. And he said the first day, it's like, oh, we're, camping and, everybody's fine with each other. He goes, the second day, I wanted to rip that guy's head off. Like I was a little cranky and I was wet and cold and hungry. And he's like, by the 3rd day, we were all really hungry. And he said, we went primal, like we were growling at each other, fighting over which piece of the raccoon that we killed, one raccoon that was smaller than a chicken, that 7 25-year-old men that was the only meal they'd eaten in 3 days. And then a group of another 7 men, and this is all while they're being shot at with like rubber bullets or whatever from their training team. Another platoon or group of 7 men came across, and they negotiated to sell them the bones, but he said it was like really hostile, and 3 days. And so I think some of us are like, okay, this is what we've all been waiting for, but what's it going to look like? And we've all listened to Cliff High's data about, possibly having, and I'm not trying to put any porn out there or whatever. I'm not about that, but I think we are in a time of calm and waiting to see how it's going to play out, and when it gets like this, you want to get real quiet. You don't want to be the one going, yeah, I told you so. And I got all this, whatever, all these things that you're going to need here in about a month or 2. And then they come knocking on your door. It's kind of what I'm thinking.
I'm at the point where I look at gold and silver and cryptos. I don't even look at them as investments anymore. I look at, I can't imagine any world in which I'd get rid of any of them unless I needed something else. It's a strange place to be, because I know the exchanges are rigged. It doesn't matter what they could put silver at minus $40 like they did with oil. It's not going to matter. I'm not going to give them my silver.
Right. You still got your silver.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter.
It's the beauty of that investment. It's a standalone asset, and everything else is not. You got to rely on Janet Yellen. You got to rely on Jerome Powell. You got to rely on, all these companies still being in business. You got to rely on all the exchanges still working. You got to rely on every bank being alive. That's the problem. There's nothing wrong with the cryptos. There's nothing wrong with gold and silver. Those are standalone assets. They don't rely on anybody at all. So that's kind of the world I'm marinating in my lawn chair.
So I saw some news last night, I guess, about Texas. Here in Oklahoma, our state treasury had gone to purchase a bunch of silver to help back our treasury and secure our state treasury. And I guess Texas has been doing the same thing. Apparently, several other states have been doing the same thing. And now Texas put forward a bill, and there's a couple of GOP guys that put forward a bill to do a national currency that's gold-backed. But Texas is doing their own gold-backed.
But it's not just gold-backed for Texas.
Okay.
I mean, for the nation, they're talking about gold backing. That the bill they put forward. I don't think they talked about redeemability, which is the key. Gold backing means nothing. It means nothing, and it's a fake nod to the meaning of gold. If gold backing means, oh, we got the gold, trust me. It doesn't do anything. A gold redeemable system is a system where they put out the ownership papers. If it's an electronic blip, fine. If it's a Federal or a Treasury note, fine. But it would have to be redeemable in that exact amount of gold in a convenient way at a bank, at a post office, whatever, however they want to do it.
At an ITM.
Yeah, an ITM, exactly. That's the world we're moving into, and it's very important that everybody thinks that way. Thinks that, hey, you've lost the trust of everybody. You can't come out with a new CBDC or any kind of gold backing or oil backing, or unless it's redeemable, we don't believe it. You shouldn't believe it because 99% chance is not true.
so then to be able to hold them accountable, because like as I'm reading this book, Fruit from a Poisonous Tree, and learning a lot about our system, learning more about our system, that Janet Yellen is actually paid by the IMF. She works for the Fed and the IMF.
Now,
Yeah.
while she's the Treasury Secretary, I don't think now.
Not the Fed. I'm sorry. Yes, she's paid by the IMF. Her
She
salary
might have been in the past. She can do that
No.
with the Fed. They can't pay her as the U.S. Treasury Secretary.
Yeah, it says that she is paid by the Fed.
When was it?
Or by the IMF. I'm sorry.
When was it printed?
Well, it's been a while, but
Because she just started as Treasury Secretary. As when she was head of the Fed, yeah, that's possible.
So
that would be a great reason to knock on her door and say, "Sorry, you're going to jail."
Okay, so maybe they were talking about they pay the Fed. They said Secretary of Treasury, though. I want to find it now.
Hey, it's all vampire casino chips.
It
really
doesn't
doesn't matter.
There you go.
It is. It's all a big lie, and we know they're stealing from us nonstop. But anyway, more and more information about all that kind of stuff. We're like, the trust has just been lost. And I think Johnny and I talked about yesterday, the Kenyan president. It was very disturbing. Came out, and I saw another video with him speaking publicly to a group of people. There was like one video where he's like sitting at a desk talking, and he's saying like, we don't trust America anymore. And really like some harsh words about the US dollar. And we're going to start using our own national currency and trading with, did he say Russia and China, or just Russia? Anyway. And then he came out, and he was speaking to this group, and he said, if you're holding US dollars, you should be very concerned in the next few weeks.
It's 2 weeks, I think he said, and that was like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks. Yeah.
You should be concerned, because if the U.S. dollar is gone, there's nothing to replace it. It's not like the Kenyan dollar is going to replace it, or the won, or the ruble. I mean, the dollar is the only global reserve currency the world has ever known. And it will be the only one. When the dollar's gone, it won't turn to China or Russia or anything else. They're doing the exact same thing that we're doing, printing as much or more and not telling people about it. So, I mean, it's funny because people can get to a certain point, but they can't think past that point. And the dollar is controlled by the computer programs run out of the Exchange Stabilization Fund. If the United States wants to have the strongest fiat currency in the world, it's a click of a mouse. That's how easy that is. So everybody needs to get their head around. It's not like the dollar is going to die and Russia, the ruble or the won is going to take its place. No, this is the end.
And so at that point, every nation goes back to its own and says, like, here's what we have. And you might trade with them, but you might not, because you're not going to trust them. No one's going to trust each other.
I know. And you won't trust your government either. So who are these countries going to go to? I mean, we're lucky. We have a constitution. Our constitution says gold and silver are money. And even in the states, it specifies, I talked about it today, Article 1, Section 10, that's the part of the Constitution that says the states can only use gold and silver as money. They can't use cryptos as money. That's not legal in the Constitution. Now, you can use cryptos as barter, no problem. The government can't tell you what you use. You can call it money if you want. We could use Litecoin. We can use anything under the Constitution. But for the
payments of settlement of debts between states,
settlement of debts with the government has to be gold or silver.
Right.
And the states can't coin their own money. That's an interesting little loophole there. They can use gold and silver. So when Texas says what are they going to do? Put a whole bunch of bars in a safe somewhere?
Well, they said they were going to digitize it. In other words, make a digital currency backed by gold. Well, I guess here's the thing, Bex. Isn't the U.S. Mint, if we think about it, wasn't the U.S. Mint formed for the weights and measures so that you could coin legitimate money so it was recognizable? And then, because you can bring a hunk of gold, like right now, somebody brings you a hunk of gold. I'm not selling the digibug for a hunk of gold because I can't test it. I have no idea. But, if they were to take it to the Mint and the Mint says, all right, boom, 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 verifies it, stamps it. Okay, that's basically what the Mint was for, wasn't it? To make sure that we all know that we're using a sound form of money. You know, it's legitimized.
Yep.
Okay, and then now it's all out off the rails.
And back then, I mean, if you think about it, in a sound monetary system of gold and silver used as money, the government wouldn't want to hold the gold and silver. They would want it. I mean, that would be a cost to them. They wouldn't want it. They would want it.
You got the military guarding it in Fort Knox and all that stuff.
Yeah,
you know,
it's a pain in the ass. They would want, and people wouldn't want the government holding it for them. I mean, we need to put a little sanity back into the world. You know, if somebody else holds your cryptos or your gold or your silver, you can pretty much kiss it goodbye over the next couple of months.
Exactly. I'm not letting anybody hold my Bud Light.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels.
Ooh, I heard Bud Light just got freaking nailed by everybody's
80% down.
Anheuser.
Yeah. Well, the Bushes don't own it anymore. They own like 5% or something, but anyway, they might have control, you know, the board or whatever it is. But they came out and said they fired the marketing staff. They're all woke.
Which is such a cover up, because there's no way they approved that the marketing staff
campaign like that.
Approved that. I mean, I've been in marketing way too long to know the big boss had to say yes to that. There's no way.
That was their scapegoat. Let's fire the little 23-year-old
Harvard grad, the woke Harvard grad.
Somebody else did that about some gold or silver derivatives. Didn't they let the little guys get in trouble over there at JP Morgan?
JP Morgan, yeah.
Yeah.
That was nothing little about that.
Well, still, they did. JP Morgan themselves didn't take the hit on that. They let those young trader guys or whatever go.
It looks like they're going to take the hit on Epstein, though, which is great.
That's awesome.
Well, I was just, before I got on, I just saw that, I don't know if it's probably the House, subpoenaing records of Bank of America and JP Morgan and other banks about the Biden family.
For the Biden.
See, that's the thing. It's the Biden family. Like that family, it's a crime family. And that's what's being exposed now. It's like, all right, you're going to indict over here? Fine. Well, we're going to do this over here. And so you see kind of the factions, the families warring it out is kind of what you're seeing, you know, with the whole situation now.
They
indictments.
Just cleared the way for them to check out
it's like, fine,
the nanny's bank account.
Bring it on. Let's put it out in the public. Let's fight out in the open.
It's not like they don't have that laptop in their own possession and they don't see naked Biden doing all the.
Wasn't it?
Wait, we're on YouTube, huh?
Wasn't it the Southern District of New York that had it? The laptop? There was, and that's the same one that's indicting
the FBI.
Okay, so what about discovery? I mean, does it get to a point, because he can do discovery? Does it get to the point where you're able to introduce that for some reason or some tie? I don't know.
It's already introduced. It's been introduced in Congress. They've already introduced it.
That's true. Gates has got it and he already knows it. Right. But I mean, for the public consumption, I'm saying, you know what I mean? Because that's what we're doing. Rolling it out for the public right now. We already know the game. That's why we're in the launch here. Smoking the cigars and drinking, you know, because we already know and just waiting for the normies to wake up. And so this is the stage.
There's no, there's no, I mean, this whole thing it's kind of funny, but it for a while, it was very infuriating knowing they had all this stuff. They could bust anybody in Congress, but they weren't doing anything because, well, the other thing is half the judges are part of the deep state also. So it's kind of like, oh shit, what are we going to do?
And I think that's part of it. We're going to see that now. We're going to see that rolled out in the public where people can see it and say, wait a minute, this is corrupt. This is ridiculous.
Welcome to America.
Right. That is part of the education, the constitutional education of America. Because the other thing that caused me to do, I kept saying, like, why, like when the last crew got selected in or whatever, and then they did their oath. And I was like, where's a Bible? Nobody's holding a Bible or taking, and they were like, oh, they take an oath to the Constitution. And I was like, there also wasn't a Constitution there. And what are they bound by? So I started looking into it. None of it matters because they all have what's called sovereign immunity. They
granted themselves.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I love it.
Yes. They
so as long as they all play ball
in a state court because they are an agent of the state.
Then why is Trump not? Why is Trump being?
And I think that unpacks a lot of things, though. Right? I mean, I think it does because you really get your head around this. You really get it. You know, you start thinking. You know, the Constitution clearly outlines what you do with the president and how you do it, and it's by elected officials in the House and in the Senate. I mean, you're really in a weird spot right now. You really are, to where you're going to bring this guy in some local yokel court, kangaroo court, basically. I mean, and I think that is kind of the can of worms that just gets exploded out, and then all this stuff starts coming out. And pretty soon we think, we got no faith in the court systems. We got no faith in this and that. And this is where it folds into Litecoin Lisa. The military is the only option. It gets to the point where all the institutions are failing. They're just completely going to be exposed for what they are. And you really, really reevaluate things. The monetary system's collapsing, the court system's collapsing, everything, educational system, all of it, medical system, all of it. And it just exposes it out to the world to where it's like, okay, what do we need to do? We need to do something. And, it gets people motivated to whereas now, I'll still get my Social Security. Yeah, get my pension.
I know a lot of military guys, a lot of police, a lot of fire guys. All of them are on the same page that if they are called to protect America from its own government, they would do it in a second. And they want to do it in a second. They're
stand with the
99%
people.
of the people in that position are absolutely, they bleed red, white, and blue. And you really can't even be part of that group if you're not. If you're like our government and things like, you can't really become a part of that, the police fraternity or the fire fraternity or the military fraternity without bleeding red, white, and blue. And they are livid. They are all livid, and they're ready to do whatever's needed to take our country back. And it won't take much. I mean, those are the guys who have been trained with the guns. Everybody else has been trained to pay off people to protect them. So I think that's where we're headed. And
when you can't pay them off anymore because the monetary system's collapsed.
They'll turn on you so fast.
Yeah, they're like, okay, I'm done. I'm not suiting up anymore. I got other things to deal with.
Yeah.
Not you. I'm not going to protect you and guard you anymore. I'm going to take a bullet for this.
That's the other thing that's about to come out is as the dollar's value dies, as the dollar dies, they came out with a number and I don't remember it now, and through I live in Oklahoma, so I've already watched Tiger King, and you learned a lot from Tiger King. I learned about informed, or what are they called? Informants, these paid people that they got caught doing something bad. And so then the FBI or CIA or whatever says, look, we'll just pay you to keep doing the bad stuff as long as you're turning over information to us, or it's some kind of exchange. There's a huge dollar amount that goes to pay these people off to keep or share secrets for a lot of this dark stuff to go on. And if all of a sudden it's not worth anything, those secrets are going to come out in a heartbeat, because those people are not loyal to the FBI and the CIA. They're loyal to being paid off. Yeah. So that's going to be interesting as well. I did see the president or the CEO of Cash App passed away.
He was murdered.
Yeah.
With a knife in San Francisco, right?
Ban knives. You banning knives out there now?
Yeah.
You're going to ban knives?
They're going to ban everything. They're going to ban breathing. So yeah. Yeah, I got buddies who's like, I'm out of here. I'm leaving America. I'm leaving California. And I'm like, fact no. Stay and fight.
Right, exactly.
This is my land. I put my feet down on my soil. It's not a government soil. Come fight me. Bring it.
Yep. And that's what you got to do. You can't go city to city. Think about it. You think of these wars where they go city to city trying to, it doesn't work. Not with the Second Amendment. I mean, it's just there's too many people who are just like, no, I'm not leaving. It's like me living in Illinois. Why are you living in Illinois? Why are you living in California, Bix? I'm like, everybody's going to Florida and Texas. There's nobody here anymore. I love it. Get out of here. But no, I mean, it's just like, where else are you going to go? Am I go somewhere where I can't speak the language? I mean, that's not a good move. You're going to go where you don't understand the culture? No, you've got the principles of America are 100% good. I mean, everything that's outlined in the playbook of the Constitution are 100% right. It's just that we've got a bunch of people that haven't played by the rules for so long. They've invented their own casino, and they've forced us, deceived us into playing in it. All you got to do is overnight pull the plug and say, no, I'm taking my energy out of it. I'm going to use something else. We've already got the tools. We're not waiting on quantum financial system. We're not waiting for the Fed now. We're not waiting for, gold back XRP, whatever it is, we've already got the tools. And I'll tell you what, right here, we already got the tools. We got this. We got the silver in our pocket. We got, we got all these things. We just got to start using it. We've already got the systems in place. We just walk away from the old one, transition to the new one, and we all start using it, and all that other stuff, it doesn't matter anymore. Just goes away, falls away overnight. Done.
Absolutely. Bix, so on the issue of premium and finding like the true price of silver, how do you see a scenario? How do you see the true price of silver? Will the derivatives market be busted by these bonds and the dollars flooding back in and the bank failures, and that will bust the derivative market for silver? Or will people start actually seeing what putting silver in your hands is and understand that the premium price is really the price to have silver?
Well, first thing everybody needs to know is that we don't have an exchange for silver on the planet. So the price is thrown out.
We did. Veritasium.
Well, we can have a true silver price, but everybody looks at the COMEX price, the futures and options price, to price their silver. All the dealers look at it. Everybody. It's on every news, financial news station around the world. They're quoting a futures and options price for silver. There is no real physical market for silver. The LBMA, London Bullion Market Association, is just that. It's an association of bankers that pretend to trade silver back and forth.
Yeah, and they fixed the price.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, they changed the language.
Fixed.
They did change the language.
Oh, did they change it? Okay. The sheep are catching on. We're going to change the language.
Now they do it so much more, openly that, JP Morgan and Citibank and UBS sit there and say, okay, we're not fixing it, but everybody put your computer program in and it'll spit out a number for us. It's so ridiculous. So what will happen? Anything over $50 on the COMEX price, that exchange will shut down. Every dollar that silver goes up, the shorts lose about $650 million because that's the open interest. After a while, it gets unsustainable. $5 days, like Cliff likes to say, that's $3 billion that the shorts will lose in a day, unless they're fully hedged. If they have the silver behind it and they bring it when people say, give me delivery, which they're doing right now, by the way, all the deliveries on the COMEX are going over to the LBMA. Every day they show these huge, they call it exchange for physicals, EFPs. So you won't see it on the COMEX. But if it hits, I think if it busts over $30, it's bar the doors. If it hits 50, they'll just shut that exchange down. So what happens? It goes to your local coin dealer, and your local coin dealer will say, "Fuck, I don't know what it is," and you sit there with your stack of $50 bills and say, "Hey, I'll give you $500 for this 1 ounce," and he'll either say yes or no. He's either got still using fiat money, or he's going to say, "No, I wouldn't sell it anything because I don't know what it's worth."
Right. And that's the point, Bix. It becomes what we say it's worth, because it's like, how much is silver worth for Bix Weir to sell it? Well, what are you going to bring me? What are you going to give me?
Right.
I mean, same with me. What are you going to give me?
It'll be worth different things in different places too.
Right. I need this. Can you provide this for me? Okay, cool. Then that's what it's worth. And if you don't want to pay it, give me your service, whatever it is, then fine. It's whatever you decide it's worth, because you got it. You're the bank now. You've got what they want.
The other thing is, we saw the is it 222? ISO
222.
22. Yeah. I always there's lots of zeros and
you mean
twos.
the government standardization thing, right?
Yes.
The same government that's about to go away. Okay, go ahead.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying we saw that roll out in preparation of FedNow, which they've now made an announcement that's coming in.
Do you know what FedNow is?
Yeah, it's the CBDC.
No.
Well, it's just
you don't
fast
think
transfers between banks, isn't it? The Fed's just making sure it clears.
Yeah, exactly. FedNow is not a CBDC. It's not blockchain based.
It's not blockchain.
CBDC
is distributed ledger.
Currency. This is Treasury. The Fed now thing is from the U.S. government, believe it or not. I believe.
Did you just say it's from the Treasury, not the Fed?
It's from the Treasury, not the Fed.
So it could listen.
What it is,
hash this out. Get into this, Bix. Is this a white hat or operation where we're going to stop all the bad guys from transferring money because we can track it? It's literally. I want to hear you talk about it.
It is literally what they do now. It just takes too long, so they're losing the competition for money exchange. So they could do it instantly if they wanted. The computers are fast enough. You know, it's not like we're not on a computer system already.
Yeah.
They just
We're
say,
already
oh,
on a
it takes
digital.
3 days for your money to clear. Well, that's a problem when everything else is cleared overnight in cryptos. So they're like, oh, no, we're going to fix that all.
We got this.
And
we
then
got this.
I mean, it might be the beginnings of a central bank digital currency, but I think the Fed now is coming out of the Treasury. I'd have to look that up.
And even if it is coming out of the Fed, the Treasury, it doesn't matter. It's just meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Now they're just making it quicker to transfer value here to there. It's not even value, transfer money.
It might be a precursor type of thing to a CBDC.
Right.
And then what is a CBDC? Nobody
what backs
really
it?
knows.
Nothing
Nobody
backs it anyway.
What if those silver eagles that they've been saving up backs it?
Backs it?
I don't want to use
Fed
it.
now.
I still don't want to use it because I can use Litecoin. I can use physical silver. Why do I want to go through that system? Why do I want to have some controller telling me what I can and can't do? And so everybody that's got this pipe dream that thinks that, oh, it's going to be better and, you know, it's going to be based on this. And if you invest in this, it's going to, you know, be. No, it's the same system. It's still the same people calling the shots, controlling things. So F that. We got options to just step away from it and sit in the lawn chair now. So let's do that. Let's just get away from it.
Well, and the myth is people think the government controls our money, but we know going down the rabbit hole that going back to Jekyll Island, it's been private entities controlling the money in the United States and the government, yes, controlling all of it. So why can't that go back to private or in we the people's hands and use something like Reggie Middleton's IP with the Veritasium platform where it's peer-to-peer transfers. You can still have the digital option, but it's a trustless option and fractional spending that way of hard assets, right?
I think that's the big thing is if you can hear about CBDCs, you can hear about FedNow until we fully understand. If it's fully transparent, and we are shown exactly what's happening and there's no way to lie, blockchain type of thing that is 100. We see all the code, we see everything. It's fixed quantity, all that. Yeah, I got no problem with that. Right. If everything's fully transparent, just calling it a CBDC doesn't mean it's good or bad.
Okay.
It depends on the structure. If a CBDC
and who's running it
structured exactly like Bitcoin, where they can't change the quantity and everybody sees every transaction on the CBD blockchain, I don't have a problem with that.
I'm all for government using that. I'm still going to use MWeb on Litecoin though, because we have the right to privacy.
Exactly.
Just saying.
I'm not going to opt into that system. Mimblewimble.
Absolutely.
Why call it MWeb? I like Mimblewimble.
Mimblewimble. It's like that magic wand. Mimblewimble.
They said it was too dorky. It was too Harry Potter.
Cool.
But it's very...
Choose your path. Choose your path. Mimblewimble, MWeb, doesn't matter. Yeah, privacy, security of money. That's what it's all about. It's digital cash. It's sound money for the digital age.
I'm really leaning more and more these days. I'm trying to figure out I know I have the right assets for the future, but I'm trying to figure out weighting. Which assets are going to move transition. First during the transition. I think Litecoin is going to be spectacular as a means of exchange right in the beginning, right in the chaos. It probably won't be, governed. The government's not going to deem it, okay, Litecoin is going to be. No, we're not going to give a shit what government says. What we're going to care about is what can we do? How can we transfer value on a peer-to-peer basis in my local community? Cryptocurrencies are the best thing that happened to cryptos lately. Well, this is a couple of years ago, is when Elon Musk came out and said, buy all the Shiba Inu and all these crazy cryptos that you can get. It got everybody into it.
Yes.
It got people knowledgeable that there's a way out. And I love that shit.
Yep.
And then Robinhood showed their hand and blocked everyone from buying in, what was that, March of last year or whatever?
Nah, you can't withdraw it. We're going to lock the exchange.
Yeah.
We're going to play all our games with it.
Anyway.
It's like 2017. We got to put in futures. We got to slow this down. We got to, calm down. Can't have the retail getting too into this because they'll break away from us.
It's the painful lessons, though, that people learn a little bit at a time so that then they're like, wait, I'm not doing that again. I'm not going to stand there during the transition where I can't get there's no off ramp. We've already seen them close a lot of off and on, or make an attempt to close a lot of off and on ramps with Litecoin. Johnny talks about this several times on our Thursday show. It may be the only way that you can privately buy Bitcoin in the future, because you could receive your helicopter money, whatever, however you receive your funds or whatever you want to call them. I don't even know what to call things anymore, but your value could come in or be in. You can put it in MWeb and then buy Bitcoin from there or other assets and have the privacy of the government not tracking you. Because if and when the CBDC rolls out, part of them doing that is for them to even know how much Bitcoin you own. When they did all these, there were all these hacks during the Great Infection, and they were like, oh, this Bitcoin hack, but only part of it would come back. Well, that's because the other part was a bounty for the hacker to keep.
Yeah, you mean those 3-letter agency fronts, you know, all those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my
confiscation schemes.
Here's my prediction. There will be no CBDC in the United States of America. It wouldn't last 2 seconds. They're already, 30 bills or something to reinstate gold and silver as money.
Yes.
Yeah.
These people aren't going away. They're not going to shut up. They'll just get louder. Everybody, I mean, it's already been talked about in mainstream that CBDC is a control mechanism. And who is going to give up their sovereignty to the current people in charge? Nobody. It's going to be the exact opposite. The moment they say, okay, here's your CBDC, is the moment people reject them and string them up, throw them in jail, wherever they have to go. It will never come out in the United States of America, unless now there are, I think, cryptocurrency function, a blockchain within the gold and silver world makes gold and silver easier to transact with. And if it's open and honest, and every Silver Eagle has an identifier on it, a QR code on that little bottom, that little notch, that would solve the problem. And it would have to be fully 100% redeemable at all times, at any time.
And you know, the thing is though, Bix, I mean, I 100% get that. I think there's a great reason to have silver in your possession, not gold, because it's just way overvalued. You know, you've talked about that forever.
It's that new
but
I don't think it's overvalued in the dollar world.
No, not in dollar terms, but in the ratio of gold to silver,
right.
You know, in
ratio,
the actual metal ratios. But if you look at the frictionless system, you look at how human beings are, we want to sit in the lawn chair. We want things to be easy. We want the path of least resistance. I mean, crypto's that path. I mean, especially when you know the fixed quantity and the code, and when you know what that is, and you know that there's only so many that can go around, once people get that awareness, I mean, I wasn't there, you weren't there. I mean, you know, we're silver bugs. I mean, for a long time. And, you know, once you got crypto though, you're like, holy crap. I mean, I can send this anywhere in the world, any time of the day, you know, it doesn't matter. And nothing can stop that. And you're like, wait a minute, it's decentralized, just running on computers. It's just code. It's just, I got the Litecoin white paper right over here in the big frame. And it's just like, I mean, once you understand that it's just free speech that we choose to run on computers with our own energy that we, you know, use and pay for, whatever, or provide ourselves, then you start saying, I can transact and do anything I want with that form of money. And I know that there's a finite pie there, and you get a slice of that pie, you know what that means compared to 8 billion people, and, you know, 1/100th of a Litecoin for every person, and you got one Litecoin, you're 100 times ahead. I mean, you know, I use Litecoin for example because I think this is the way. But it's just that once you understand that, you get it, and you're like, well, shoot, it's nice to have silver, on a day-to-day basis, but man, if I want to transact value and send it anywhere, it's like done. Boom, done. The network verifies it. The bank doesn't have to approve it in the FedNow system and say, oh, it's approved. Send it through immediately. Pay the extra fee to get it in real time. You know, I mean, all that's BS.
That's the key. That's the key. You understand it. You have an advanced understanding of monetary theory. You have an advanced understanding of transactions. The rest
I'm just some guy in the middle of a cornfield.
You're not.
No corn.
That's
and I get it.
Crock of shit. I've known you for way too long. It's going to take people a while. I don't think
gold and
silver are the end all be all forever.
No,
I
but
think
in the transition,
10 years, it will be the most likely transactional kind of a process, because we don't have cryptos in our constitution. I absolutely think we're going to go back to our constitution, because we have nothing else when this shit falls apart.
Right.
We have a constitution. That's an amazing gift.
Absolutely.
And we're going to use that, and we can incorporate the blockchain into that. Yes, I think down the line we're not going to need gold and silver. Silver is going to be way too valuable to use as money.
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly. You'll nationalize it because it's like we can't use this for
I think
anything.
gold. There's so much fucking gold out there. I think gold can easily be used as money. And
that's probably what they'll do, won't they? I mean, to fix it.
We are they. Remember?
Yeah, no, you're right.
We are the deciders.
These people won't be deciding shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think it's easy. And
I'm fine with a gold back system.
What's happening right now, though? What's happening right now is we have people in Congress, people in state senates, everybody saying, "Oh, we need to get gold and silver on the books as money, or gold mainly." Not many talking about silver.
It's already money. You're just re-emphasizing it or reiterating it.
That's going to happen because, and then it'll be a moment that click. The old system dies. All the crypto people will be trading in cryptos with each other, but there's not that many. And they might be mad that I didn't get in early enough. How many times do we hear that? Oh, you like it because you got in early. Yeah. Well, I like it because I understood it early.
I'm a Litecoin holder. I'm not making any money. Trust me. It's just I'm here for the, right. But I agree with you, Bix. You're 100% right. 100% agree with you. I mean, to get people to, I'm all for a gold back standard. And I think most people will understand that, hey, this is something that, it has a scarce supply, even though there's a lot of it, there is still a certain amount of it. And we need something to anchor us, and that really does. It'll anchor the monetary system. And I think that's probably the go-to. That's probably the move. Let's, base, the gold in the Grand Canyon, the gold in all these mountains and national parks that the government.
And they're finding more and more of it all the time.
Tie the money to that. And then, okay, now we're kind of back to a normal, more level playing field where we can kind of start from. But it doesn't stop us from trading crypto now. And that's the big thing. We've got to educate people that you can do it right now. You don't even have to participate in the system if you don't want to. If my local guy down the road I went to grade school with will take Litecoin to fix my digibug whenever it goes, then I'm good. I'll smoke my cigar and say, here, send you some Litecoin. I can send it, but right when it's done that minute and say, boom, there it is. He's like, all right, cool. I can go buy some Miller Lite now, and we're good to go.
The beauty of the system falling apart and us no longer trusting these assholes to control us is we're free again. We can do whatever the fuck we want. We can use gold. We can use silver. We can use crypto. Right. We can use a piece of shit, and you pick it up and you say, hey, you want my piece of shit? I'll give it to you. You give it to me. I mean, freedom is an amazing thing. And I think that's where we're headed. And cryptos thrive in freedom, as we've seen. Yeah, there's a lot of criminals and sharks out there, but hey, this is life. We're being kicked out of the nest. That's what we got to remember. We got to fly ourselves or we're going to go splat on the ground.
Listen to what he's saying, you guys. It's time to grow up. It's time to stop.
Get your worms in your own possession.
Your authority. It's time to take personal responsibility for your health, your wealth, your personal safety.
I've heard that somewhere before.
Grow up.
Heard that somewhere.
Time
on this show.
Up. I think so. Oh my gosh. So somebody said, I want to think that Uncle Cliff is making moonshine and drinking it home with us for happy hour. And I hope that's true. That would make me so happy.
Maybe just a sip. I'll tell you what, there's a big market right now because you're seeing these alcohol companies, trying to go with the flow, trying to find out what the narrative is. And I know we need some Wicks beer. We need some Westwood whiskey. We need some Litecoin Lisa lager.
Let me do the whole 6-pack.
Do it. So all right, let's hear it.
Wicks beer.
Circle back and.
No, we do not circle back on this channel. Wicks beer, Bitcoin Ben Brew, which is like a Pilsner, every man's beer. Then we had Cliff High, which was the hoppy one.
Absolutely.
Cliff High.
With some CBD in there.
Yeah. Snippy Sippy. His was a wine cooler. And I already have talked to him about this. This is not a slam. He does prefer wine coolers and stuff.
Yeah, he does. He likes that hard lemonade stuff.
I was going to be the blonde brew. So like going Lisa blonde brew. I can't remember. Jenny and I came up with one for her. I think it was like some kind of witch's brew. Yeah. And we came up with that last year. And then Westwood, we have to have a Westwood whiskey.
We got a Westwood whiskey.
Yeah.
Now, would it be whiskey or whiskey infused beer?
I like whiskey better.
Is that
but
such
we
a
could have some
thing?
whiskey infused beer, be like a Boilermaker, we'll just drop it into the
Oh, there you
Oh,
go. That's
it'll
right.
be one of those things. We'll have
Westwood
a cocktail,
Boilermaker.
patent the cocktail.
oh, here my friend Distant is watching, and he says one of my good friends thinks the dollar isn't losing any value and hasn't ever. Oh, sorry.
I think he's right. I
The
think
dollar, the
they
true
can
dollar
click the
hasn't.
mouse and put it wherever they want the dollar to go.
Things got more
But
expensive.
a real
for
dollar
people to
has
think
not,
that,
because the
yes.
dollar is based on silver, right? It's based on the Spanish
But
real.
they have said that the
what the
dollar
Fed
has
note has.
lost 98% of its purchase power
Yeah.
since
Things got more
1970 or whatever.
expensive. The dollar didn't get cheaper.
Yeah.
So,
And this is not what Distant thinks. This is what he's saying, my normie friend.
I know.
Right,
Distant is
right.
really, really smart.
Go to the gas
Yeah,
station,
That's
go to the
not
store.
what he's saying.
Tell your normie friend, ask him what a day's wage was back in 1900 versus today, or 1913.
Ask him why an egg costs more.
Before the Federal Reserve note was invented in 1913, wages are pretty stable for about 200 years. So
Interesting.
why do people? You used to make a dime a day back then, and that was a great wage. If it's not the value of the dollar that's decreased in value, what changed? It is all the inputs that make the stuff have gone up. Not in utility. A cup of coffee is still a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
It's the currency that has changed for
Yeah.
all the inputs that go into that currency. That's what's changed. It's the evil is in the dollar.
And the
You
thing
know,
is, if we had a stable currency, the price of everything would go down. It would be deflationary because,
Right.
the work has become more efficient because, what it took to get that coffee bean before, what it took to harvest those things before, man, it was a lot of manual labor, so a day's wages. But now we've got this automation. Everything should get cheaper, shouldn't it? Should be like big screen TVs. Everything should get cheaper because of technology. But no, the price goes up. It's not because it's more inefficient to create those things. It's because it takes more of these dollars to buy those things. Because if I'm a merchant, if I'm selling Westwood whiskey here, and it's like, hey, it's $100 a bottle. It's very special whiskey, moonshine, all this anyway, all these special things that go into it. But then, like, okay, they print up $1 trillion more dollars, and this guy's got a bunch more. He's like, oh, I'll take all of them. I'm like, wait a minute. That's going to be $200 a bottle now. Now it's $300. Now it's $400 because it's like, man, you're just creating these things out of nothing, it seems. You just keep bringing them to me. So it's like, okay, if you keep bringing them to me, I'm going to need a lot more of them. And because the price of everything starts going up, everything else goes up. See, we've got this distinction we got to make. They talk about inflation on TV and they talk about price inflation. They don't talk about monetary inflation. Well, we've got inflation. It's going to be inflationary because they're not going to have as much oil on the market. That's going to feed inflation. It's like, no, it's going to feed price inflation maybe, but really that price inflation is caused by monetary inflation. When you increase the monetary supply, when you got more of something, you're going to have to pay more for real goods. You're going to have to pay more for real things. And so, if you take away anything from this, look into price inflation versus monetary inflation. I mean, monetary inflation, when you create stuff out of nothing, you got wheelbarrows full of cash that, you might get a couple
Zimbabwe dollars.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you add a zero to it, add a couple zeros to it. It's absolutely ridiculous. But, it still takes, a certain amount of effort to make this cigar. It comes from a place, they got to grow it, they got to ferment it, they got to do this, and somebody's got to roll it, and they got to ship it. And I mean,
well, Westwood, it makes me think of when we do our classes, either online, you can go to litecoinlisa.net and schedule a Crypto 101 class with me in Westwood. Or
next
you can
Saturday
show
morning.
up.
Don't schedule for tomorrow. Next Saturday.
Okay, not
morning.
tomorrow, but for next Saturday
Next
morning.
Saturday morning.
And then you can show up in Oklahoma and we will teach ourselves.
Exactly.
We'll be
just come see us
so
in person.
excited that you're there. Come see us in person.
Yeah,
in Oklahoma City.
Let's pump a little Oklahoma.
Yeah, we're gonna have such a great
schedule
time.
of what's gonna happen. How excited are we?
Well, me and Paige are working on it. Actually, Paige is working on it, but it's mostly going to copy last year, and we're going to have a great time. You guys, the Road to Ruta really boosted Team Mighty. I originally started Team Mighty to recognize and remember my daughter's life. She passed away at 7, and she was a little warrior and a fighter and independent, and inspired me in my life so much and so many people around her. And so I wanted to honor her life by celebrating her birthday every year. And so we had this opportunity, and Road to Ruta got behind us like 100%. And came to the Blanco thing, and I saw a picture the other day, which I forwarded on Facebook.
We saw Glicks playing in front of the bank.
Yeah,
Blanco.
and Cannon was like this big, you know, and
Yes.
Glicks is playing in front of the bank. Yeah. And like there's just such a history of community and generosity and caring for others. And Bitcoin Ben was there and brought people together and community together. And then you guys said, come out. You were going out to Arizona. You were going on the road doing your Freedom Roadshow. And you said, come on out. And so I'm out there in Arizona, totally don't expect it. We're getting ready to go home to do the Team Mighty event. And Bix says, hey, we're going to do a donation. All the proceeds from this event go to Team Mighty. And then you match it. And then you match it again. Like, just blew me away. Gave us all that we needed to get all the legal stuff of the, you know, attorneys and accountants and all that stuff set up for Team Mighty and make us all official so that we can be a 501c3 and everyone can get their tax deductions. But it also just was so humbling to see the community come around and say, like, we want to celebrate freedom, independence, community, life. And it was the way that Road to Ruta crew looks at community and the passion that you show up every morning just about for all of us. And you have the same amount of energy and passion because you care about the community. You want us to all get through this transition that you've been screaming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming. And that's why I say, like, you're the godfather of crypto in our family, because my parents were gold and silver bugs and followed you for years. And then my mom gave my husband and I Litecoin in 2017 when we got married. And then I was like, why? And she said, well, because our financial system's broken. And we went down the rabbit hole, started watching you and Ben and Uncle Cliff immediately, and got educated. And I learned so much from you. And I watch you and Amy, the whole Road to Ruta crew's heart of bringing community together. Educating people is so important so that they can take personal responsibility for themselves. Everybody's has these opportunities. You bring in people like Andy Scheckman, they have access to buy your own silver. You bring in health and wellness people like Ken from C60. Like, it's just really humbling to see all the work that you've done for humanity and the world. And so that's where you guys are kind of the gold standard, where we wanted to change a little bit of the format of Team Mighty. And so now every year we're going to start having a champion, which is somebody that exhibits those characteristics of community, bringing community together, supporting, and love and freedom and education. And so this year we chose for that to be Bitcoin Ben, with all he's doing. And so you have been his buddy. You guys have been traveling for a while and educating the community. And so I really hope, or I'm honored to have both of you guys come to the event, and we'll be able to present him and Kelly with the award and talk about. I'm also looking for, if you guys are watching this video, please, if you have a funny story, a special, just want to say thanks. If you had something beneficial in your life from Bitcoin Ben or Kelly touching your life, send me a 60-second or less clip to LitecoinLisa2, the number 2, at gmail.com. And we're going to put together a little thing and try to make him cry, which is not too difficult, I have to say.
No, first time I met him, he cried.
But yeah, I'm super excited about all of it. And Bix is going to come and sing for us, and I get to be backup singer, which makes me very happy.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think it's going to be a great time. I'm going to get Westwood up there talking about silver and truth and vampires. Johnny Litecoin's coming, so he'll be talking about payment systems. We know Litecoin's already has a Visa card. So I don't know if the Visa, he was talking the other day about, like, Visa may stay up during the transition because they're actually not a part of the banks. They're a payment system.
They aren't part of the banks, but the problem with Visa is they take they're huge into the securitization of the debt. So yeah, I don't think Visa's going to survive it.
You don't think they'll survive? Okay. So I'd love to see some of our other friends out here. I need to make sure I assume that everybody knows they're invited, but I need to like make sure I extend an invitation to JC and, Snippy came out to our event that we had in Florida. Jenny's been at several events. I'd love to have her here. We'll have Josh and Paigey from the Pebbleton Post here. And I know several people that are in the live chat, our regular friends and fam are coming. So you can get your tickets at litecoinlisa.net or click on the links in the description. Mame, who is going to be the beneficiary of this year's proceeds, created a piece of artwork. This will be one of the auction items. And she also created an NFT. So if you buy a ticket, you get an NFT because we'll have your email. She'll send you instructions on how you can collect your NFT, but you can also just purchase the NFT directly. And I have instructions on that in this description. But I'm just really grateful for the community support and being able to honor my daughter's legacy in this way with freedom, family, and friendship. So can't wait for everybody to get here.
Yay! It's gonna be fun.
Yes, it's going to be lots of fun. Lots of fun.
And I go ahead.
Warrior 32 bought at least 2 tickets. I know Benny bought 2 tickets. He's not able to attend, and he wants to donate those tickets. Oh, nice. So I can do a giveaway today if you are able to come to Oklahoma City. And
let's do one today and one next Friday.
Okay, we'll do one today and one next Friday. If you're able to attend the Oklahoma City event, then it will be courtesy of Warrior 32 or Benny, our friend Benny. And I'm going to give you guys some time to do it, but let me go do the capture. You have to talk amongst yourselves because it's going to take me a minute to do the capture.
All right.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Here's what I want to talk about while you're doing the capture. All right. This is a spiritual journey. I mean, everything that Lisa just talked about, it is a spiritual journey, and all the things that Bix, you said, conversations with God, you need to give more. And you know what I mean by that? I mean, all these things, there are no coincidences. Go watch Signs, with Mel Gibson, speaking of Mel Gibson, the whole Christ movie that he put out and all the things he talks about in Hollywood. All of this is coalescing. All of this is happening right now. All of these things are coming together. We were at the Cosmic Bus Stop together, and we said, listen, we're going to come down and manifest right now at this time, and we're going to fulfill our role. We're going to do what we need to do. And cryptocurrency is nothing more than a lighthouse that's called us together. That's all it's done. It's allowed us to come together as spiritual warriors and transition people who are awake and who are paying attention to this new system, to where we take out the vampires. And that's what they are. They're vampires. I don't say that lightly, but that's what they are. And so it is a vampire casino. That monetary system, everything that they've constructed, all of the artificial stage props that they've put up to convince us to play magic tricks on us, to do all these things to make us to where we don't realize the power that we have. And now we're unwinding those spells. We're all coming together and we're activating ourselves and we're becoming spiritual. I remember you, Bix, in 2018, the night before the Litecoin Summit, you're setting up. I went with my dad. I said, hey, we got to go. I don't know. We paid with Litecoin. Get to that. I don't know why I got to go. I got to go. Met Bix, gave him a big hug, and he's like, oh my God, who's this freaking Sasquatch? Give me a hug. And then I watched, and I've gotten to know Bix, and now it's just like, we got to hug each other because it's like we know each other. We know that we're all fighting the same battle. We're fighting the spiritual war, and we've already won. We came here to win, and we know that we've already won. And we've just got to walk away from all the bad stuff, all the myths, and all of the propaganda, all of the deception that's been put upon us, because we've already won, and we don't have to participate in that. We can walk away, and we can do whatever we want to do and manifest a new reality and just alter this thing overnight. And all these events, all these things, with Mia, with Toby, with all of the spiritual energy that, everybody who sacrificed, everybody who has led us and caused us to be who we are right now at this moment. I mean, it was for a reason. we all had our purpose. We all have our goals. And we've just got to realize that, we were born for this moment. We're spiritual beings trapped inside this body that we're trying to, break out of, and we're trying to understand. But at a deep level, we all know things are broken. We all know things aren't right. And when we find each other, when we go to these meetups and we tap into that same energy, when we tap into that life force, that God energy is really what it is, just that, and you realize, and it's something that's so life-changing. It's something that you realize that, you've got a purpose, you've got a reason to be here, and you don't know why, but you resonate with it and you feel it. And those hugs, just knowing other people, looking into their eyes, and that you're on the right path. And our goal is to just wake people up so that you don't live a life of quiet desperation, so that you don't go through life. I mean, that's the most horrible thing, to where you get through life and you look back and you say, yeah, I knew it. I knew I should have done something. I knew I should have stepped forward. I knew the right thing. I had an ability to change something. I had the ability to do something. I had the ability to make some difference in somebody's life, but I didn't do it. And you're crippled up, you're on your deathbed, and you've done nothing. Don't be that person. All the sins, all the things that you've done in the past, let that go. And here we are, at this time, this religious holiday, it's where we self-reflect and we look at, the sacrifices that people have made in the past. Everything you've done, all the things that you think you've done wrong that are holding you back from doing something, from making a difference in this world, you got to let that go. You got to let it go. And you got to say, you know what, I've got something to offer. It may be something small in your mind, but that butterfly effect, just that impact that you might make on another person, that you don't know that you're making it now, but you're trying to do the right thing. You're trying to get a message out. You're trying to get the truth out because it's inside of you, and you just let it out. And you have no idea how much you're going to impact the world. You have no idea how much you're going to change this planet and put it on the right path. And you're here for a reason. You are here to change this world. You chose to come here.
And
right
you're
now,
here to join us in
time.
OKC.
And
so
you
type
come to OKC.
hashtag OKC
Exactly.
in the live chat to get
you come
a chance
to
to enter in a free ticket.
And it's gonna activate your soul. It's gonna activate your spirit. You're gonna be around people we're all on the same team, and you're gonna say, you know what, I've known you forever. And I just know who you are, and I know what you're all about. You can't let them win. You can't let them beat you down. You can't say, well, you can't fight City Hall. Oh, there's nothing. Everything's rigged. Oh, this and that. No, we change it. We change it. We, the people, change everything. So get out there and do it.
So well said. I love listening to you when you get in that spiritual moment. And it is your oversoul that's talking through your little body all the time. So I love it. Hey, I gotta run.
All right.
I'm gonna draw this really quick.
Come see Bix.
Ready? 5,
Oklahoma
4, 3,
City.
2, 1.
Don't say Clint Westwood.
Oh gosh, why am I in it? Oh, because I gave instructions. Oh, please don't let me win. Or Westwood.
Yeah,
Jim Montgomery.
Jim Montgomery. You're already coming, aren't you, brother?
Love you guys.
He already has a ticket.
All right, love you, Bix.
He'll bring another friend.
Have a great weekend.
Love you, Bix. Thank you. Okay,
he's out.
So how awesome.
Bix is out.
Yes, I think Jim already has a ticket because he bought
Jim, who do you want to donate to? We're going to give away 2 next week.
Well, this was for happy hour.
Oh, okay.
So that might cover his, if he hasn't bought his Team Mighty ticket yet, that might cover his Team Mighty ticket, or he might bring a friend.
Yes.
That might be really fun. Then he'll have a friend to bring, bring an extra person. And Blind Dave's going to do a live stream. He's going to buy a ticket so that we can send him. So if you get a ticket, I'm going to be sending you a link because I'm just going to send everyone a link that bought a ticket through that Eventbrite to be able to live stream it. So that way I make sure everybody can do that. That's going to be wonderful.
Everybody in the chat, everybody who decided, you made a choice to show up right now, you came for a reason. We've all come for a reason. You just got to know that. You just got to know that we're here for a reason. Make that change, be that change, and it's not the hope and change, of the whole BS that we, no, it's none of that. It's like every day you can make a change. Every day you can put good energy out. Every day you can make a difference. Whatever, you might not think, and I've got many stories and I'm not going to go into. Come to Oklahoma City, I'll talk to you about all that stuff, because we are, there's a bigger plan. And that's why when I say trust the plan, it's because there is a bigger plan. And you realize by meeting other people, that's like, oh my gosh, I've known you forever.
And there's a bigger plan even in Oklahoma City. We're having happy hour live Friday night.
Happy hour Friday night, the 21st of April.
That you can come be a part of. You can ask us questions. We'll be there a little bit before and a little bit after. I'm hosting hors d'oeuvres. You buy your own drinks, but I'll have heavy hors d'oeuvres and great food. And
are you talking to me? You talking to me?
Everybody.
I buy my own drinks?
I'm talking. Yes, you're buying your.
I'll bring my bottle of Jack. My last bottle of Jack.
Because you're driving the Digibug down here.
I'm going to drive the Digibug.
So I'm going to drive
Digibug 2, the newer Digibug, the new and improved. It's still 19 years old, but that's how I roll.
That's young. That's in the.
That's a youngin' for me.
Yeah. I'd be honored to buy your drinks, Westwood. So glad that you're here.
Careful what you offer.
Very thankful that you come. Yeah, what was you saying? It's buying top shelf liquor at an open bar.
When you go to a wedding, it turns a beer drinker. An open bar turns a beer drinker into a whiskey drinker. If there's an open bar.
Well, you can be a whiskey drinker at my house.
I'm a whiskey drinker right now. Let me tell you, I'm cashing that last bottle of Jack Daniels that I had on the shelf because I'm not buying anymore. When I get rich, I'm going to act all woke. That's what they're doing now. That's what they're doing now. When I get rich, I'm going to act like I'm woke. Yeah, and then you're going to lose all your money.
It's interesting because for years, before the Great Infection or anything, we were seeing hints that some of these big companies were taken over and that they were using their accounts to either send comms or do ridiculous things, and Nike's been one of the worst. They've had
they're horrible,
hideous fashion. They've had
and all the artists that sing about it, like Balenciaga, all the artists that sing about things like this, that tells you they're part of that system, part of that. But
that was all just to wake everybody up.
Justin Bieber came out, we're seeing news about him to where he's like, okay, I'm done. I've exited the system, and he's been punished for it. His wife's been punished for it. A lot of things have happened to him at a spiritual level because he's like kind of awakening, not woke, but awakening to the fact that I might have been a part of something that I didn't think I should have. Now that he's older, he's
think about he was a child when.
Right. And then you look at the parents, and a lot of the parents do this stuff because it's that quest for wealth, for fame. And it's just, that's all artificial.
Brooke Shields back in the 70s sitting on a stage with her mother.
Yeah.
And talking about, she was like 14.
Putting her in movies where she's naked in the water.
She's naked and kissing 29-year-old men.
Right.
Like,
who
what
does
is
that?
wrong with you?
What parents do that? That's the thing. That's what I say. You might have done things that you're very ashamed of that you didn't really realize at the time. Forgive yourself. Now's the time to forgive. Yeah. That's the whole sacrifice. That's what we're celebrating right now. That's the whole Christian faith right now. It's the sacrifice and purging all that old stuff. Don't think that everything that you've done. I use the analogy out of the Bible. Saul. It used to be named Saul, and then on the road to Tarsus, he sees a vision of Christ, and he used to be a murderer, and then he's like, oh my gosh, I've seen the error of my ways. He becomes Paul and writes most of the New Testament. I mean, anybody can change. I mean, we can all change. That's the wonderful thing about us as human beings. I mean, our spirit, we can do anything, and we can wipe that all away and say, you know what, we made mistakes. We really screwed up, and if you legitimately change and move forward, you can change the world. I mean, you can make a difference. So don't beat yourself up and not do something now and not do something tomorrow because you did something bad yesterday. You've got to get past that. And you got to realize I've got something to offer right now. Yeah, I messed up. It's like a convict. You get locked up for doing all kinds of bad things and you get out. Are you going to continue to do the same thing? Or are you going to turn the page? I would hope
they learn their lesson.
And right. Are you going to turn the page and make the world a better place and leave it better than you found it? And and forgive yourself and say, I screwed up. But
Some of
now
that
I
is
can
we
make
have to
things
change our
better.
prison system, but
Well, it is, but I mean, at a spiritual level, you just got to realize
Yeah.
that there's always a chance. You've always got an opportunity, as long as you breathe, as long as you're in this body, to do something better and to leave it better than you found it. Not that it's going to atone for all those other things, but it's going to change somebody else's life, and you
Hey,
have no idea how
this
you're
is
going to change it for
Easter
better.
weekend. This is Good Friday. Today's
Oh,
Good Friday.
star, the
We're
Easter.
going into Easter weekend, and that is a time where he didn't come to make us perfect. He came to sacrifice for us, and because
He went
not
to the
perfect,
sinners. He didn't go to the people that were in power. He turned
Right.
the tables over on them.
Right. So that's what we have to remember is you're forgiven if you ask to be forgiven. And it's just, I don't know. I just think that we've all been lied to so much. We have to have that personal relationship with God, the creator, universe, whatever that is to you. And
Trust
then
yourself.
That's the thing you trust is
Yep.
that relationship. No one
Trust
can get
yourself
in
in that
between that and
relationship.
tell you that that's not right or good or true. So
no one should get in front of you and your money. Nobody should get in between you and your energy. Nobody should get between you and your God, the spirit that created you.
Any relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
between
like
two people.
cut out the middleman is what it comes down to. Cut out the middleman. You've got opportunities right now. That's why I'm here right now. Did I want to come back? Not really. I was good. And then I came back. Lisa probably dragged me back from the cows that messed up. I fully believe that.
I just went up and said, "No, you're coming."
Me.
I didn't even ask. I just said, like, I do that to him now. I'm like, "Okay, so we're gonna go to this thing," and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to go," and he'll complain to me for about. I usually try to give him like a month or two ahead notice, so he can complain for a while.
Yeah,
and then
get it out of your system.
Yeah,
get it out of your system.
And then he looks forward to it, and he has a great time. And then he's happy once he gets there. He loves it. Loves being there with everyone.
I do. I love everybody. And it's just that I'm just so past all the artificial.
He's cranky on the way there.
I'm cranky. I'm cranky on the way there. Little upset on the way back, because I did like it, but it's just like
maybe he's pouty. Yeah.
Oh, and then I'm like, all right, when you come.
What's next?
Yeah. What's the next one?
Yeah. What's next? Oh, I love you guys. I'm so grateful for our friends and family and community. I hope everybody can come to Oklahoma City. If you are in need of a sponsorship for a ticket to be able to come, but you feel like you could make it here, but you can't swing the ticket price, let me know and I'll see, because I do have a couple people that, like I said, purchased some tickets and as donations and weren't able to attend. And I'd rather have warm butts in the seats and
toasted buns on the chair.
Happy hearts joining us for the day and the event. Joy, the little girl, dancing for joy, that we're going to be celebrating our little warrior that was, she loved to be a mermaid like Mia and dance. And we're going to play a little video for her family and hear her story of being a survivor and a warrior. And I think it's going to be really inspiring. She definitely brought community together through her life. And her family's going to be there. And so I'd love to see a great turnout to show support and love for her as well. So if you're able to get there and just need a little help with the ticket price, let me know. We do not want anybody to miss out on being with fam.
Well, you got somewhere to be. You got to go by the pool. We're not going to talk about current events today. I mean, or you feel like I'm getting wrapped up here.
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm here.
What do you think about what do you think about the RFK versus Trump possible scenario? Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy's son, running for president on the Democratic side. What's your gut feeling?
I like him. Are we going back to the original? Does it unify? Do we get rid of the parties that way? Is that a way to get rid of the party? Because
that's exactly
you have to
what
go
I was
to
thinking.
The Kim Clemente prophecy.
Yep, go ahead.
The Kim Clemente prophecy, which I shared with my patrons, is that we will become, that America stops eating their children. First of all, McDonald's is closing for 3 days and coming out with an announcement. But then we stop eating our children, and then we become one. And remember that one of the things that they told us, that our founding fathers told us, is never become a thing of parties. because that will destroy the republic.
Originally, remember, when we voted for president, the person who came in second was vice president.
And
so
that the most people had a voice in making the decisions.
Because it was like a check and balance, and that's what they did. They're like, okay, we know human beings have the propensity to become corrupt when they run government. And so they put all these checks and balances in. We've been kind of unwinding them a little bit. But originally it was you vote for president, the second place, vice president. Okay, what's that do? It's probably the opposing, faction or party, whatever you call it. They're vice president. So it's like it puts the president in check a little bit because, hey, you mess up.
Questions and pushback cause accountability.
Exactly.
That's how you don't have all these secrets and collusion and things happening because there's not one power. It's not centralized power. It's a way to decentralize the power, for sure.
No, and so when you said that,
I think that could bring people together to be one. That made me
think that, because if you think about a ticket of Trump versus Robert Kennedy Jr., I'm like, makes me think, I'm like, and I told my wife, I'm like, if he runs and gets the ticket and then Trump gets the ticket, I'm like, it's not really the lesser of two evils anymore to me. It's like, we're kind of going to win either way. I mean, that's kind of the way I look at it. It's not like it's like Clinton versus Jeb Bush. I mean, we can't win.
Lose.
We lose. You just lose. No, so you can't stop winning.
But I think the count has to be rectified first, and I think the military is the only way, because we can't keep doing something. The definition of insanity: keep doing the same thing, expect a different outcome. We know that 2016 or 2020 was the count was improper, and that has to be corrected. So the military, and they brought up a point. They're trying to educate people. They showed Biden the other day with active Marines behind him, and they were like, what is he doing? You cannot use active servicemen in a political ad or whatever. And people were like, what? Why? He is the president. No. So when last year, the money for the Team Mighty event went to Warriors for Freedom. And it was really interesting because, I think of a Warriors for Freedom or former military. They help vets that are struggling to acclimate back into society after coming back from a lot of times war or service or whatever. And they do a great job. It's amazing. Check out Warriors for Freedom if you want to get involved with something like that.
The funny thing about that cup is I would have it out here right now, but my wife confiscated it from me. She takes it every day.
Does she like it?
Yeah. I've lost it. Just like I lose my bucket hat, like Lisa.
Okay, well, in exchange,
in my life take all my stuff.
In exchange, I have another Warriors cup. I have another one for you. So I'll save that for you.
So I can get in free. Can you give it to me before I go in?
You can get in for free.
If you got a Warrior cup, you can go to the happy hour
for free. Yes,
so
if you have a cup from last year, you get in for free. That's my promise. But what was I just talking about? I had a good point.
I'm the master of distraction. I'm sorry.
Where were we? Oh gosh, dang it.
We're talking about those little white puppies. Where are the puppies?
No, they're outside with Charlie. They got
in the sun,
they got
vitamin D
haircuts today, and the lady cut all of Rebel's hair off the top of her head, and they cut her face down like this, and Rebel's ears kind of stick up anyway, and so she looks like a white schnauzer. She doesn't look like a Maltese at all, and she kind of looks like a boy. And I was like, what did you do to my baby? Yeah. So Remy still looks cute. Remington Justice, our dogs, Remington Justice and Rebel Rose. I'll have to get a picture now because they're so dang cute.
Yes, and we're going to get a picture of Westwood having one on each arm. We're going to do a little size comparison.
Yes, we will.
We're going to get little cuddly dogs. I'll throw them in the digibug and run home with them.
I know you're going to be
come on,
loving them because they are just adorable.
I'll be two-fisting, two-arming.
Yeah, they are so cute. Where's my latest picture of them? I have a picture.
You bring them to the meetup, and I'll hold them both the whole time.
Well,
Somebody's gonna have to like walk around and give me a straw or something so I can drink
yeah, they're so
not
cute.
my not
Hold on.
Jack Daniels whiskey.
Stop screen. I have to do a new screen. Hold on. This take me 2 seconds. 2 seconds.
I told my wife today, she was out and
There
about,
they
and I
are.
said, "Oh, look at them! Look at them! They look so much better in my arms."
Aren't
I know
they
Charlie. They
cute?
look good with Charlie, but I think they might look better in my
I
arms.
know.
I don't
So
know,
this
I'm
is
saying.
Rebel Rose. She now has like a buzz cut and looks like a dude, but little. Oh no, that's Remy because her ears are laying down. This might be Rebel Rose because her ears are sticking
Oh
up.
yeah,
I can't really tell in this picture as well because he's holding this one back. Because Remington is actually smaller than Rebel.
Charlie makes those ladies look good. I don't know how he does it, but he does.
He's a good man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've enjoyed having them. And, you know, it's the simple things when the
Yes.
world is upside down. Like Bix was saying, he's watching everybody in our community be very calm.
Yeah, I'm fine.
When the world is blowing up and all these things are like so crazy. Oh, there's the Pebbleton Post. Say hi to Joshy and Paigey.
Josh and Paige. You know what, Paige? I just thought about it. She reminds me of somebody. And she reminds me of Leanne Rhymes. You ever look at her face and the way she talks? She's kind of got that Leanne Rhymes. They're kind of from the same mold, I think. Maybe the
She
same
looks
clone.
like your daughter a lot, actually.
Yeah, a little bit. They're both beautiful. They are.
Yes. Yeah. They just had a great interview with Johnny that came out, Johnny Litecoin. And before that, they have an excellent interview about being sustainable and having eggs and all that.
I see what
It
you
was
did
really
there.
cool. I loved it. It was great. Check out the pebbletonpost.com and follow them on YouTube. And
if you need chickens, hit up Daddy O. I don't know if he's in the chat. He's got chickens.
Oh, does he? I know he had a bunch of babies.
He got a lot of chickens.
I thought he was keeping them.
He probably is.
Interesting.
Might be able to get some chickens.
Yeah.
Chicks. He likes the chicks.
So those are my little chicks. My little babies are. But it's like I had a really stressful day and I was like just needed to physically escape. So I like just went outside and I just watched my little puppies play and they came and loved on me. And I was like, you know what? This is all I need, my family, and I need my magical internet friends, and I need some food, and
I'm not asking for a lot here.
I'm not.
I just want real stuff. I want real things. I want real things around me. And that's what we preach about. Have the things that you need that sustain you, that spiritually sustain you, because we're in a spiritual war. We really are. So you get, and I'm going to have some more spirits. I'm going to cash the last bottle of Jack Daniels that I'll ever buy. But, that's really what it's about. And I say, my happiness is sitting on the porch, puffing on a cigar, a little bit of whiskey or bourbon, and got the dogs.
Knowing your family's safe.
And just not caring about the rest of the world
because around you,
turn the
your
TV
friends,
off.
some good friends. Yeah.
And who cares? Have a get together, cook out. I mean, just that's what it's all about. I mean, that's normal. That's normal behavior.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what we all strive for. And they want to teach us that no, you need to do this, you need to do that. This is the normal that you're supposed to believe in. It's like, no, I know what normal is. Don't preach to me. Don't tell me what's, supposed to be normal, because I know it's not. And so you don't put your energy in that stuff. And when you disconnect from it, you don't get upset anymore. You're just like, it doesn't bother me. It just gone. And you've got to get to that point. And we've got the tools to do that now. We've got the tools to just break free from that stuff to where we're not enslaved in it, to where we don't have to participate. I mean, pay me in Litecoin. I'll marry you. I actually got my little certificate to where I can marry people, and I'm going to be doing that.
He's already married. He means he will marry you to another.
I can do that. Yeah. I mean, if you want to get married, Westwood will come officiate the ceremony and sign the certificate so you can participate, and all that stuff. But it's just nice. It's very important that we realize that none of the artificial stuff, that's this digital stuff, because we don't know what's real anymore digitally. And when they make our money digital, that's our energy. And when we put that into that system and allow them to control it, they're going to control your soul. They're going to control your energy. And so this whole CBDC, this whole FedNow, this whole thing, don't get bothered by it. Just realize, okay, am I still a part of that system? How do I get out of it? can I just exit it? And I don't care if you take a loss. Honestly, it doesn't matter anymore. It's just the fact that you get out of it and you're like, I'm free. I don't even care. I don't even care anymore. And you can live like you were born to live. You can be the person you were born to be. You can be the person that you came here to be. Get to that point. Don't think that, okay, I'm 50. All right, so I look at Social Security. It's going to run out in what, 2033, they say
You're
now.
never getting Social Security.
Right. And it was 2034 last year. Next year will be 2030, and then it'll be 2000, and then next thing you know, you get none of it. And so why are you looking to the future when you can manifest the future, you can manifest the reality that is going to become the future right now? You've got all the
and I
tools to
love
do it.
watching Uncle Cliff's messages lately. He's going back and back to the 22 trillion times per second. I love some of his old messages about how we reincarnate, all of the choices of consciousness, where the soul interacts with the meat suit, and then the mind is separate from that. Yeah. Well,
Put a little.
It's all right.
I got a little marbling going on. I'm just saying.
Well, that's all right. We all do. And you know what?
I'm like the ribeye of crypto.
Don't talk about my friend like that. Like Amy said on Monday, she said that she was with some of her girlfriends and she was kind of downing herself. And her friend said, don't talk about my friend like that.
Right.
And I was like, man, we need to do that more. Like when we hear somebody beating themselves up, remember that that's your friend, and we need to all be keeping each other, lifting each other up. That starts in
school, because that's where most people are abused and psychologically traumatized in the school system. It's like the big guys, the big people, as Bick says, the big people, the people that me, I've always been a big guy, and when I see somebody picking on a little guy, it's like, leave alone, knock it off, get out of here. And it's like, it takes leaders when you don't think you're leaders. What did Charles Barkley say? It's like, I'm not a leader. I'm not a role model. No, you're all role models. Everybody's a role model. And, that's what America's about. That's why it's not a democracy. That's why 51% of the people can't vote 49% of the people out of all their wealth. No, it's a republic.
Or their rights.
Exactly. We're protecting the individual. That's why we have checks and balances. That's why it is a constitutional republic. And so we've got to start acting that way. We've got to start saying, no, knock it off, leave them alone. And you can't, everybody plays a role. Everybody has an impact. I don't care how small you think it is. But the fact that when you stand up, people are like, oh, he's got a voice.
And it's time to adult up. It's time to stop submitting our rights, and
they're not going to fix it. They're a bunch of idiots. They got their own agenda. Screw them. You just take control. Take control.
Free men don't ask permission.
Exactly. The Sasquatch doesn't ask for permission. It does what it wants. Be the Sasquatch.
Be the Sasquatch.
That's it.
Your Sasquatch.
Absolutely.
And I'm hearing more and more, like as I'm learning about stuff from this book and others, I'm hearing the language in people that I respect, that they may already be operating in some of that system that I wasn't aware of before. But now that I'm learning, now I'm becoming an adult and taking responsibility more and more every day in my own, and not submitting my power to some other authority, then you start hearing it more. And it's like, oh, wait, okay, I understand.
It's like when you buy a new car, you buy a new car, like you buy a Volkswagen, you're like, you never notice Volkswagens. Then you start noticing, oh, there's a Volkswagen. Every time you go down the road, you see another Volkswagen. You see the people's car, and you see all these things. It's like any new car. I mean, that's a good analogy to where I'm praising myself. It's a good analogy.
No, you're right.
Because I brought it up. But it is.
It's a great analogy.
Because it wakes you up and brings that awareness to the fact it was always there. You just didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
The signs have always been there. You just never paid attention.
Why can the Fed not be audited? Oh, because they operate in trust. Wait a minute.
Playing a different game here.
Why can't I operate in a different game?
I got to read you a little comedy, and it's not a Westwood After Dark moment. Even though
I hope
those get pretty good. Horrifying. It's kind of close. It's Stormy Daniels.
Okay, I do not deny or condone. What is the statement?
Yeah,
I don't condone whatever's about to happen.
Yeah, this is not on me, says Litecoin Lisa. But the New York Post posted an article, and the headline is this: Stormy Daniels was riding a horse named Redemption. when Trump was indicted. I thought it was a horse named Deliverance, but she changed the name to Redemption. But anyway, it's just funny. It's real quick. I'm going to read it real quick. New York Post says this. Stormy Daniels said it took a while for her to hear about former President Donald Trump had been indicted for hush money payouts over her affair claims because she was riding a horse named Redemption. The 44-year-old porn star told Post columnist Piers Morgan, gun grabber, that she started giving up on charges being filed after she was told she was no longer needed to fly to Manhattan to testify in person to the grand jury. She says, it was like, oh my gosh, he was actually going to get away with this again?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. She told Morgan of what she assumed was a disappointing end ahead of the historic decision to the indictment last Thursday. So I kind of forgot about it, she said in a 90-minute interview with Piers Morgan Undercovered on Fox Nation USA, adding she stopped obsessively staring at her phones. Why she have multiple phones?
I got two.
Yeah,
phones.
I got one for this and one for that and one for that. Anyway, yeah, she stopped staring at her phones and instead went on to ride her new horse. So, and this is a quote, I'm straddling a horse named Redemption when he got indicted. She told Morgan of the gelding she was gifted as a birthday present in March. So I'm like, well, who gave her the horse for her birthday? Anyway.
Why is she saying it like that?
Exactly.
That's so weird.
Exactly. Then you think Trump saying horse face and all this and Melania, saying horse face. It's all a show, I'm telling you. So anyway, it goes on. Redemption is his name. I can't make this up, she added of the obvious irony in the name, later claiming that her whole life is a freaking SNL skit. Quote, her whole life is an SNL
Maybe
skit.
from whatever casting, central casting.
Get your popcorn, folks. And she says once her ride was over, she found her phones melting with the news, she said. She was still taking care of Redemption when her attorney tweeted a widely shared message that the charges were no cause of joy, something she clearly did not immediately agree with. And then it's got pictures of her busting out and the horse and all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And she says, quote, there's no cause for joy. I was just ecstatic, she admitted, saying she toasted the news with a Jack and Coke because she gets white girl wasted on champagne. I was like, no cause for joy.
But she gets trans wasted on Jack.
I mean, right? And she says, but this is what I've been fighting for. It's moving forward finally. There's light at the end of the tunnel. So I was very excited and happy. It was only later, however, that the bigger picture sank in and she finally felt her attorney was right. And almost done. Daniels told Morgan that there is now, quote, light at the end of the tunnel after Trump was charged. There is no joy in the fact that we had somebody in office that had this much power to cause these alleged financial crimes, boasting about his election chances. Blah, blah, blah. But in the moment, I was like, F yeah! Trump is facing a total of 34 felony counts, falsifying business records, each of which carries a maximum sentence of 4 years behind bars. Yeah, 30. Trump denies the affair. But I mean, look at the language, and you look at when you think, okay, yeah, this is kind of a movie. You got the whole horse face, and she's riding a horse named Redemption at the time when Trump was indicted, and her phone's blowing up. I'm like, you can't script this. Mm-mm. This is all just a big theater.
It was all scripted.
Exactly. It's all
We're in the Kraken. I will not give that up until it's proven to me that we are in the Kraken right now.
So Stormy Daniels, the storm is upon us. Stormy's riding a horse named Redemption. I mean, come on.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
Let's go, Brandon. You can get your Let's Go, Brandon hat at roadtoruta.com, the one that Bix was wearing today. So I don't know if you guys know. Are we allowed to say? Maybe we're not allowed to say.
We can say whatever. Doesn't matter.
Well, no, I don't want to.
Okay, no. You say it at Oklahoma City, so you got to be there live.
Yeah, you got to be at Oklahoma City to find out why the Let's Go Brandon
I'm putting my
hats
Let's Go Brandon hat on right now.
Funny.
Baby.
Yes. The Let's Go Brandon hat.
Let's go Bud Light.
Is
Let's go Jack Daniels. Let's go Brandon.
Yeah.
This is what you need to do. You need to exit the vampire casino. You need to get some sound money for the digital age. You know, I got a
Preach
lot
it,
of
Lexi.
people. I got a lot of people reaching out to me saying, "Why doesn't Bix talk about Litecoin anymore? Why doesn't he this? Why doesn't he
He
do
does.
that?" He does talk about it, and he talked about it today because Bix has always said Litecoin is the sound. You know, Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange, and he always said that when everything falls apart, that's going to be the thing. And you see it more than ever. Maybe he's got the chronovisor viewer. Maybe he's got the Orion cube to where he can take snapshots of the future and he's able to see it. And it's just like when the time is right.
I had a energy healer girl, or maybe it was one of the things. I think SL and Brandy and I did a thing. She did the Wizard of Oz. She'd never seen the Wizard of Oz, and she described it specifically when I asked her about silver, and she talked about the granny at the beginning of the movie would go up and there's a tornado and she's looking out a window. Yeah. And then she said, and then she comes down in a neighbor's yard, but she's safe and whatever. Anyway, I'll have to go back and find that video. And then she talked about Litecoin being like it was like there was an arc, and because I said, why is the price down so much? And she said, because it will be like a bridge when the waters are rough, when the time is rough. Maybe she said water. Now that I think about it. Anyway,
lighthouse, wandering boats in the water, chopping around.
Yeah, I think of it as like Noah's Ark. It will be the on-ramp for people because think about it. If you're a normie and you're in a panic and you're hearing like, where do I go with my assets, whatever, the first thing I tell people is get into crypto, whatever. And they go, I can't afford a Bitcoin because they think like stocks and whatever.
Right. I can't get one Bitcoin. It's $28,000.
They have to buy a whole one. Yeah.
It's like Berkshire Hathaway stock. I can't buy $100,000.
Right. If the panic happens and Bitcoin's about $100 each, people understand that. That is the $100 equivalent of all this money that's been saved over all these years and this trust that's been put in the sturdy fiat. And if Litecoin is that transition during that time, that's an easy for the normies. Look, you can put it on, buy Litecoin. It's about $100.
Everywhere. It's liquid. It's on every ATM. It's on every exchange. You can get it anywhere. You can get Bitcoin.
And you have a privacy option.
Yes, that's the epiphany.
You can spend it like cash.
That's the epiphany I've had. I've had dreams where I see Litecoin, the rail, this big, giant silver, just bulky but sleek rail of payments, this exit out. And you've got, think about this, and the reality, all the spiritual stuff aside, the reality of it is, okay, I got my retirement sitting here. What am I going to do with it? I got all this money that I saved up and I worked my whole life. They
won't have their retirement.
No, they won't. And they think, okay, if I can still get it out of the system, where am I going to put it? Because they're ramping up CBDCs. I've watched the Black Mirror. I know they're going to do social credit scores. I know they're going to stop me from, if I don't buy enough Bud Light, they're not going to let me buy other beers. They're going to make me buy Bud Light. And, I don't want to buy Bud Light. But they're going to be able to control that because it's a digital programmable money. Right, exactly. And so, or Coors Light if you're Bix, how many cases, Paulie, how many cases of Coors Light do we need to get across the Mississippi River? Be the bandit, anyway, there's symbology in that, but silver bullet, all that stuff. So if you look at it and you think, all right, I've got to get my money out of the system. I've got to protect my wealth. The problem is, I understand that they want to track and trace everything. I understand, if I put it in Bitcoin, they're going to know where it goes. They can track it on the blockchain. Litecoin, they can track it on the blockchain. Oh, wait. There's this thing called Mimblewimble. I can put it like in the sidecar of Litecoin, this dark train car, and I can put it in there and they don't know what it is. And I can it's like digital cash, and I can protect my wealth, and it has privacy built into the blockchain. Mm-hmm. Holy cow. I mean, I want to get into that stuff. And a lot of people will say Monero. That's another option. But, Monero doesn't have the liquidity. You can't get it at every ATM. I mean, and it's like, yeah, that's a good option. But
it also doesn't have it doesn't have the option of, like, if there are times where I want to make a public payment. I want to pay my mortgage, pay my taxes publicly. And I want documentation of that.
Send me the address.
Donation
address.
Where'd you go?
I'm right here on the side. I'm the sidecar. I said, Lisa, this week, I said, send me the donation address for Team Mighty, the Team Mighty event, because then you can track it and you can go look. All the payments went in, all the payments went out. It's like a ledger that you don't need an accountant to take care of. The blockchain takes care of it. You can see it. It's very transparent. However, the thing is, I don't want people to know when I'm paying for stuff. I don't want people to know what I've got in my wallet. That's where Mimblewimble comes in, and that's what's on Litecoin, built in natively to the blockchain. And so a lot of people are going to start, once they understand that, and that's why it's education. That's why it's all about education right now. It's all about the info war, information wars. That's where we're at. When people start to understand that,
or cash.
Yeah, you can have cash in an envelope in a dark room, and you can say, "Here, I paid you," and nobody knows I paid you.
It doesn't even have to be in a dark room. It's just it doesn't have to imply that you're doing something wrong. If I give my child some cash
it's my
or
energy.
pay a babysitter, it's no one's damn business.
You want to give her birthday money? You want to give your child this? You want to give them that? Nobody needs to know what they have. You know, I've got daughters, and it's like I want to give them Litecoin. I don't want anybody to know how much they got in their wallet.
Business, and you don't want to make your child.
Don't be a target.
Yes, a target. Yes.
You know?
That's what pisses me off.
Yeah.
Just because you're doing something confidentially does not mean it is
we can't have confidential transactions now? Oh, okay. Yeah, but we can send $2.6 billion to Ukraine and not put an earmark on it and say what it's going for. A $15 million mansion here, couple million there, you know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah, confidentiality has its place when it's appropriate. So,
government has all the secrecy that they want, and they don't want you to have it. And see, that's the thing. We've got the tools, we've got the economic weapons to opt out. This is coming from a guy in a pink cowboy hat in the middle of GMO cornfields. So take it for what it's worth. But you might want to look at that, because it is sound money for the digital age. It is something that you can use in just a completely open, transparent manner to where you want to track things. You don't want to keep a ledger. It's stored on the blockchain. But there is a time to where you don't want anybody to know what you've got when you make a payment. You don't want anybody to track your wallet and see how much money you have. I mean, it's like we have a right to privacy.
The first
it's my
time,
energy.
Way back when we first got into crypto, I bought a Litecoin beanie. I don't know if it's in my room or my office somewhere, from Rob D. And I was like, hey, I'm pretty sure I ordered one, blah, blah, blah. I have this payment that went out. And he's like, what's the address? And so I was like, okay. So I sent him the address, and he's like, no, you sent that to, I think Kenny Bozak was selling something. I don't know. And so he
was one of your first guests, wasn't he? Like
he was one of my first guests.
Yeah, he was wearing something pink. You had pink hair at the time.
I had my hairdresser put a pink hair in my hair. That's an old video. But anyway, that was on my first channel. We're now on my third, so I'd have to re-upload that video to be an oldie. Right. I should have like an oldie playlist if I can. Of course, then I'd probably lose this channel. I don't know. But when it freaked me out that he could track it, but that was part of my education. I was like, oh, wow. And then I was like, okay, well, that was cool. Now I know that payment was for that. So I haven't paid so then I paid him for my beanie, and I got my beanie. But that's also how, like we were talking earlier tonight, where they were doing these Bitcoin has been stolen, hacked, whatever. And it's like, you have to be the dumbest criminal to ask to be, have a ransom in Bitcoin, because it's open ledger. And that's why they never recovered all of it, because part of that was a bounty. It was just testing.
Yeah, it was money to the big guy. You know, whoever the big guy is. You know, it's money to the system. I mean, all of this was a setup. They know that crypto is the biggest threat. They know that that is something that we can put our money into, we can put our energy into, and walk away. However, they're like, okay, let's set up a bunch of exchanges as honeypots and offer them a bunch of rewards and yield. Hey, put your crypto in here. And then they confiscate it. Oh, shoot, made bad investments, went under. Where'd the crypto go? It's very easy to figure out where the crypto went. All you got to do is follow the blockchain. Problem is, we don't have all the regulation that they say they have, all the meetings they had in the White House, all the meetings individually. They just
They
ignore
don't
all
understand it.
No, they don't understand it. They just know that I just need to get it. And I need to get it before all this falls apart, because they understand that, hey, this thing's falling apart. This vampire casino, people are going to wake up. People are going to understand that they don't need us. They don't need our system anymore, because they can transact value. They can send value anytime they want. And boy, if they can do it in a private way, oh my God. Dagger in the heart, baby. Silver dagger, Bix. I mean, it's all out there. All the signs are there. All the information's there. You just got to pay attention. You just got to pay attention. Yeah, you need a refill. Charlie, we need a refill.
He can buy the pool. He can't be bothered. And my neighbor has decided to mow on Fridays now instead of Thursday. I asked
you need
him
to train the little dogs to like cart in like a little tasting flight.
I think that might be a little much. I did see a golden retriever helping someone with their laundry today, though, and pulling stuff out of the dryer. And I was like, oh, mine are too small for all of that. But
now they can bring the mini airplane bottles maybe in their mouth, in a little Tito's bottle.
Yeah. Those are only for travel, though. We have strategy with those. I asked my neighbor to change the mowing day because they kept mowing on Thursday when I was live with Johnny. So they've been mowing nonstop while we've been live, and I'm just like about to pull my hair out.
Can you do it on Saturday?
Yeah. Oh God.
I got shows on like Monday through Friday. Can you mow on like Saturday?
I need a soundproof room or something. I hope you guys can't hear all this, but usually this microphone kind of cuts that out. So
we can't hear
only
it.
I am annoyed by it.
No, that microphone you got there is a good one. It does drown out all of the sound.
Yeah, Mitchie helped me pick that out. Mitchie's Motivational Mondays. Go check that out and pray for his future daughter-in-law.
Yes.
Future stepdaughter. His fiance's daughter has been diagnosed with cancer, and so we want to send out prayers to her and their family, and go watch Mitchie's Motivational Mondays, and give them some love as well. So
I'm sorry.
I need a drink.
I'm working the chat a little bit. I'm parched. And I had a full bottle. Listen, Lisa, I had a full bottle here, and I keep my bottle right here next to me because
what are you drinking? Just that?
Jack on Ice, because I got an ice cup. I'm prepared. I got my notes. I got all this stuff. I prepare for this stuff. Nobody believes I prepare for this. They think I'm on the fly. Westwood, just comes out. This takes some work, baby. This ain't easy being Westwood. Let me tell you.
He's committed.
The thing is, I got props. I got this. I got this signed this week. It's like 4-way. What the heck's a 4-way? It's like
that?
There's a right way, there's a wrong way, there's your way.
Who did I see? Somebody posted something about a threesome that shocked me. Was it Economic Ninja? Somebody that I did not anticipate using even that shock value title posted a video this week and said,
and it probably got 1,000 views or 10,000 views. Sure. I'm lucky to get 100 views, but 4-way.
Your 100 count. I would rather have 100 pennies, or no, wait, how do they say it? That's the wrong way around. 4 quarters than 100.
You say
pennies.
It 4 ways. Yeah, I'd rather have 4 silver quarters than 100.
And actually, I'd rather have a bunch of nickels.
Box of nickels. And why would you want to have a box of nickels?
My husband robbed the bank.
Tell us the story.
Week. Okay, because of you. You are a bad influence. Or maybe you're a good influence, actually.
I'm an influence.
Here's the funny thing. So my good friend owns the bank. Her family owns the bank. And so she was walking in. We were walking. And when we walk in.
Sounds like a Bruce Springsteen song. I was walking out and he was walking in.
Well, we were walking in. And
one dog goes this way, one goes to there.
Manager people all know us, and they're like, "Oh, you're our cryptocurrency girl," I said, "Yeah," and me and Charlie are standing there. They're like, "You guys need a banker. You don't need a teller usually. What's going on here? Whatever." And
Litecoin girl.
And I go, "Oh no!" And Charlie goes, "Well, we want to buy some nickels," and he goes, "Oh, thank God, we got some boxes of them back there." And so they have a bunch of boxes back there.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
Yeah. So we go, and Polly actually shared something in our group chat that they're actually worth like 12 cents or something.
Well, here's the deal on that. And then we'll get back to the story. So it depends on every nickel right now that you go to the bank and get, every nickel, you don't have to sort through it. Every nickel has, that's like the last monetary coin that's in circulation. So every nickel has 75% copper and 25% nickel. And the copper's valuable, it is, but the nickel's even more valuable. And so the nickel's worth about, it just depends on whatever the spot price is. Again, it gets back to what Bix talks about. It's like on the markets, because if you're JP Morgan and you think you got a bunch of nickels in the warehouse and they turn out to be bags of rocks,
right?
Well, it's really, how much is really out there. You think about the work that goes into it and the Caterpillar tractors that go into it. I mean, digging all that stuff up and all the energy, all the diesel, all this stuff that it takes to pull this metal out of the ground, refine it, put it in a coin form. And so you can go into the bank. I mean, this is like you're robbing a bank. And Charlie did this week. Lisa and Charlie did this week. And they posted it on Twitter. You can go into the bank and get a $100 bill, fiat fake paper money with Benjamin Franklin on it.
So Charlie had to up you and get 200.
I know he did. That's how Charlie is. I take a picture. I'm like, this is my flex for the day. I put a $100 box of nickels on the digibug and take a picture. Charlie, let's go to the bank, baby. And
so he wanted to get 200. And so then I sent my friend.
I want everybody to win.
Because Jill's like, we have like 600 boxes back there. Why do you guys want these?
Well, when I go to Oklahoma City, I'm going to check the weight limit on the digibug.
Yeah, they have like tons of nickels.
We're going to see, because when you buy the nickels, it's 5 cents, because at face value, that's what the banks do. It's like, oh, it's 5 cents. So if you buy a box of nickels, like 22 pounds, you get, 50 rolls of nickels.
So Bix is in the chat again. He said he had to go, but he's still with us. We love you, Bix.
So we love Bix.
He says, wait, what is the cost to melt down the nickels to separate the metals?
Well, that could be. But the thing is, you look at silver dimes. Look at silver dimes. You got 90% silver and 10% other stuff. So if you're in 1964, Bix, and that this corrupt vampire casino is going to take the silver out of the dimes,
right, this is your last chance to get.
This is it. And that the system, they're going to rig it, because that's what vampire casinos do. And that you can go, you can't melt the nickels anyway because it's illegal. Just letting everybody know.
Oh, that's true, because then you're defacing.
Right. You can't do that. But the thing is,
or whatever.
So you go into the bank right now, you put a $100 bill down or $200 bills, in the case of Litecoin, Lisa and Charlie, and you go into the bank and you get a box of nickels. It's $100
I wanted
for a
my
box
own
of nickels.
box was part of it.
There you go.
It's like I need.
You get 3 boxes of Tito's. You get 3 boxes of Tito's. I get a box of nickels. You get a box of nickels.
And whatever is yours is mine. And
get it in your possession. You run out. Sorry, go back. So a box of nickels right now costs you $100 if you go into the bank. Okay, $100 bill. 5 cents each nickel. You walk out of the bank, the metal value of that box of nickels is about $120 because of the copper and the nickel that's in it. These are necessary metals. You need copper. I mean, your whole house is full of copper. I mean, nickel, you need it for stainless steel. You need it for all this stuff. And the thing is, you don't need to melt it down because it's already there in that coin form. It's just like you don't melt down 1964 dimes, and before. It's got intrinsic value. It's got God's metal in it. It's like it always holds value. And so right now you can go into the bank, put a $100 bill down and walk out with $120 of nickels for $100. And I'm thinking, if we have a system that's collapsing and we have a system to where, silver is going to go to $600, what's the price of nickel going to be? What's the price of copper going to be? You can't lose. And you can spend the nickel in the old system while it exists if you need to. So it's a no lose to me. It's like it's still $100 in the old system, even though at some point these pawnbrokers, these coin dealers, me, I'm like, oh yeah, give me a nickel, because I'm like, I know what's in it. It's just like silver dimes and quarters back in 1964 and before. I know what it's worth. And the analogy we always give when we go out on the road, 1964, Lisa, what was minimum wage? in 1964.
Oh God, $1.65 or two?
$1.25.
$1.25. Okay.
5 quarters. $1.25. $1.25 an hour was minimum wage in 1964. So if you had said, okay, give me the dollar bills, I worked this many hours, give me the paper currency. That paper currency, if say you made $20 in a day, you worked all day, and you take that $20 bill, you hit it under your mattress. Right now, what's $20 buy for you? Not crap. But if you had taken it in quarters at the time that had 90% silver in it, $1.25 an hour, those 5 quarters is worth about $20. Just those 5 quarters because of the silver content. Just those $1.25 then is worth about $20 now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
this is a little video of Mia right after her heart transplant. And she was like feeling good and sitting up. Well, she's not sitting up. I'm holding her up, but she's feeling good. She's like 3 months old there, but she was preemie. So she probably was, I don't know how old, like if you adjusted her age or whatever, but that's right after her heart transplant. And I just love that little video. So I'm just,
it's so cute. It's so adorable. It's so adorable.
She's so cute. Bick says you can buy 35% silver nickels below spot silver, which I was not aware of because I thought Andy said he didn't have any.
Yeah, the war nickels back in like 1942
silver.
to 45, I think, because they took the copper out because they needed it for the bullets and guns to kill people. But no, you could get those, and that's another good buy. And you know what? If you go in and buy a box of nickels, you might come across one of those silver nickels, and then you got over $1, for one nickel.
So we should check the nickels.
Yeah,
I never thought of that.
You could unroll them and look at them. I mean, I did this. Here's a good example.
That's
of what
we're doing this weekend at the Davis
exactly.
household.
And then if you find one nickel, you're like, oh, that's $1. So.
That's cool.
But it doesn't matter.
See, make that cannons work.
I want people to win. I want people to exactly. That's a good, and you can tell by feeling it. It's got a different texture to it. But you can win right now and game the system. That's what we need to do. We need to, any energy that's left in that old vampire casino, that old vampire system. If you can walk into the bank and walk out with more than you put in, game that system. And you know what? I just tell them, I got, if they question I got this nickel machine at home, I need nickels, oh, okay. Because they always ask questions. What are you going to do with those nickels?
I work for Tito's Road to Ruta. It's fine. He
it's
says,
like, I'm making a bar. You think about this though. I'm going to make a bar, I'm going to make a floor because people, they take pennies and they.
You cannot make the floor of it.
Yeah, exactly. You can put nickels on the floor and then you put your, your stuff over it.
I thought you were doing the bar top, but not the floor.
Well, I mean, you can do that. I'm just saying, you can do that if they ask you what you're doing with it. It's like, oh, I got this art project. I've got this thing going on.
Yours. None of your business.
No. And my wife said, 5 years ago, you would have said, F you, why are you asking me? And it's like, I've gotten to that point where I'm sitting in the launcher. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to engage anymore. I'm going to go in, I'm going to get what I want, and I don't even care. I'm not trying to fight that battle anymore. They're either awake or they're not. They're awake or they're not. And so if you can game the system, if you can take energy out of their system, it's like putting a silver bullet into the werewolf. It's like, you just walk out.
If he never sees you in the woods, that's okay.
There you go. And that's it. Fly under the radar, do those things that can, steal energy out, what's left out of the old system. Okay, this week, what did I do? I said, hey, because, I'm fortunate enough to where I live around a bunch of farmers and, they deliver all your natural gas, they deliver gasoline, all that stuff. So anyway, I said, hey, can you deliver me a 55-gallon drum of gasoline? And so I got a 55-gallon drum of gasoline. It takes me 55 gallons of gas to mow the yard. And, it looks like I'm going to be mowing Mitch's yard this year too. So, but last year it took, the whole drum of almost the whole thing of gasoline to mow both our yards. All right. So I'm like, okay, that's covered for the year. He delivers a 55-gallon drum of gas and, it doesn't cost me that much. And you've got it on hand though, because if the gas station shuts down and you can't use your digital cards, you can't use any of that stuff, you can still fill the tank or put a little bit in the tank and you can go somewhere. And you got to start, if you've got the ability to get the things you need on a daily basis, start thinking about that and having it in your possession, having money in your possession, having items that have value in your possession. That's what adults
do. That is what
exactly.
Bix is.
Adulting.
That's the other thing. Bix
you
is.
You need cigars. You're going to smoke a cigar every day. Make sure you get enough cigars to get through the year, 2 years, 3 years.
So
You
I
drink
sent,
Tito's? Hey, make sure you get enough Tito's, right?
or learn how to make your own. I don't know.
Or
I'm
distill
seriously
your own.
considering trying to figure, but you have to
You
have
can get a
tons of
federal
copper
license,
for that.
Lisa. You can get a federal license that, hey, I'm just doing it for fuel. And you can, if you got the product, you got corn, you got stuff you grow, you can distill all the freaking alcohol you want on site if you've got the right license, and they'll leave you alone. They might show up and you say, look, I got the license. I'm using it for fuel.
Interesting. Well, I do have my diesel Mercedes. Maybe I could use it for biofuel.
And with that, yeah, you can use it. And see, the thing with the gasoline that I buy, it doesn't have any ethanol in it. Every time you go to the gas station now, it's got 10% corn or some other garbage in it. So I want straight gas. I can get that straight gas delivered in a barrel. And so I can put that in the cars. It's better in the mowers, the small engines. So I've got that on hand and I can do that. So you got to start thinking about the things you need to get by and what you're going to need. And if you can pay for it now.
Bix's book. So
Conversations with God.
Conversations with God. It's the Silver Gold, Bitcoin and God by Bix Weir. Hold on, I'm going to share this tab instead, and I'm going to share with you. I sent this to a friend of mine. Was asking me about, like, he's precious and I love him, and he's like, I don't understand what's going on and how this is going to play out and whatever. And I was like, it's hard to have a conversation with somebody through like a belief system and facts that are, they're listening to normie facts, and you're trying to share facts about what's going on. And this is such a great explanation and walk through what might happen or how it might roll out. And this is Bix's book, Silver, Gold, Bitcoin and God. And it's pretty awesome. I sent it to my friend, and it's really helped my friend to understand like what that might look like. And part of it is Bix talking to God about, why are the rich and powerful, and, kind of battling with God back and forth.
What was the date on this? Bix, if you're still in the chat, when did you write this?
This one says, does it have a date? I don't see a date on it.
Because I think he wrote it before he knew.
2013, 2015. Okay. What does that say?
Right. So he knew this
2015.
In his soul, in his spirit. He wrote this stuff, had these conversations, put this information out there before he really knew what his purpose was here. And now, look at him. He's in the lawn chair. I mean, he's sitting back. I mean, he knew that his spirit knew that, he was here for a reason, and it was like boiling out. It's like Cliff's data. It's coming out before you even realize it. It's telling you the truth. You are telling the truth and spitting it out before you even realize that you're on the path. But you were always on that path. That's what you came here for. I mean, that's the essence of who you are. And then when you look back at this 10 years ago, like I said, 2018, I gave Bix a hug, and he was like, and now he's like, give me a hug, It's just like, and it's just like, you reach a certain point.
Well, I didn't know like the whole where I had this burden about personal responsibility, and now I'm coming to the fruition of, now I understand why that. Like, I understood part of it was like getting free from, an abusive marriage, free from different, unhealthy relationships, whatever. But now I'm understand the stepping into the adulting part of it with the taking personal responsibility. It's so much more than that.
And it was always there, Lisa. It was just
always
that
there,
we interacted with people who had a different mission and a different goal, and they were trying to stamp you down, just like the people we watch on TV.
That Bix wrote, like, really helped my friend see how things might roll out using precious metals and going into a digital currency, and why it's might work that way. So go to roadtorooted.com, check that out. It's really excellent.
And this is why you tie it all together with people like Jenny Moonstone, where she does readings and where she does these things. And it's like the moon, silver, and all these things. And it's like, and we all have a plan. We all have a purpose to realize and awaken ourselves through this meat suit, through all this stuff that we've always known to be there. We just didn't know how to activate it. And then we meet each other and we're like, oh, holy crap. Okay, now I get it. And then you're like, throw that other stuff away. Yeah, I'm done with all that stuff. No, it doesn't matter.
I love it. So are we doing a spaces tonight?
Well, that's up to you.
I say yes. I'm cool with the spaces. Not right away though. Give me some time to eat, have a drink. Like last week, you jumped right into spaces, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
It's because I drank so much early. You know, and I'm like, how long can I sustain this? You know,
Till at least midnight. You usually go till at least
it
midnight,
was
so I
like
cannot.
after, you know, the only reason we quit last
Almost.
time, it was like you jumped out, you just like disappeared, and
I was out.
yeah,
Well,
you
my
just like
phone
passed
died.
out or something. Oh, the phone died.
No, my
Okay.
phone. I told you my
Yeah,
phone
so
was
this is how long
dying.
we talked. You know, I start
Yeah.
at 7 and it's 12:30, and you know, Paulie's phone breaks up. I'm like, all right, I'm done.
And if you
So I'll
want to
go.
listen and not participate, if you're not a Twitterer, you can join my Patreon because my patrons voted for me to stream Twitter Spaces every Friday night.
What's wrong
So
with
they
them?
can click on, it's a private link, and they can listen to the Twitter Spaces. So I have it there for them.
And so yeah, we talk about all these things: Sasquatches, full moons,
Yes.
pink moons, spiritual energy, flat Earth.
All the
You know,
good
whatever
things.
you want to talk about, all these things that, you know, we don't get into because there's not enough time. You know,
Maybe we can get Public to jump on tonight since it's later.
we should, because
I miss him. Yeah.
yeah, I know. We need to get him to jump on. I need to be like Trump and have somebody follow me around with the camera crew. Did you see the video he put out today?
Mm-mm.
Oh, he put out a video. He had a camera crew through the whole indictment process, going over the bridge and taking off and landing. And it's like the best campaign, you know, amalgamation of events that just, you know, these people are amateurs. These
Okay, so
people
you
who are
started
trying
off the video to end the video here. You started the video asking me, what would I do if RFK versus Trump?
Mhm.
Who would you vote for? Who would you vote for?
You asking me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll get to that point. If it does, I think it's like you said. I think it's
We'll be
a
unified.
united. Yeah, it's a united.
What if
forces.
it's RFK Jr. and Trump, and we are united?
Well, I mean, you know, what if you get to the point and they both look at each other in the debate and say, you know what, let's fix this together. You know,
Wow.
let's fix this system. You know, let's
Stop
come together.
putting America against each other and work for America.
Exactly.
together.
Let's go back to the beginning, to where I don't care who gets the most votes. That's who's going to be president, and the next guy's going to be the vice president. It doesn't matter who's in charge at that point. You're both in the White House. You're both changing things, and you're both unwinding the deep state. You're both exposing. You think about this. This is Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy. His dad was assassinated. His uncle was assassinated.
Mm-hmm.
JFK Jr., his cousin, what happened to him? You're running against Hillary, you know, for the Senate seat. I mean, you think about all of this coming together and coalescing to the point to where you just expose it. You just expose it right in front of everybody. And you say, you know what? This two-party system is a fraud. And you look at each other and you say, you know what? We're both going to fix this. We're going to make this right.
They become one. That's in Kim Clemente's prophecy. And then a humble man heals the money with gold. And I think that's Reggie Middleton. I think that's Veritasium. We'll see.
Or you can buy Litecoin.
Comes hat in hand. The government comes hat in hand to Reggie for a solution. That's in Cliff High's data. So we shall see. Love to you all. Thank you so much for joining us. Please get a ticket.
Get to Oklahoma City.
You can also just make a donation on the website if you're unable to come and want to help support Mame and the work we're doing at Team Mighty. Any of the proceeds
I updated my website
event
today, Lisa.
Okay,
you know,
cool.
And so that, you know, I've got links to all this on ClintWestwood.net.
Go to ClintWestwood.net.
You can go to ClintWestwood.net. You can go to LitecoinLisa.net, and you can, you know, get there, buy a ticket. It doesn't matter. It's all about raising the awareness. It's all about.
And like I said, if you're having trouble, if you feel like you can get to Oklahoma City, but you can't swing the $100 for the ticket, contact me, please. And I'll see if I have one that's been donated that I can give you a sponsorship, because I'd rather have warm butts. I want everyone there that can get there.
I may have an extra.
I want money for Mame.
So if I'm going that way,
we want family and everybody there. So yeah. No one's riding with you because you said too farty.
Too farty. Too funny.
All right,
funny.
gotta go. You're too funny.
Trust
All right.
yourselves.
You guys take care. Love you. Make sure to love one another. We will see you guys next week. And we'll see you tonight on Twitter Spaces. Join me and my Patreon to support the channel. Helps me out a lot. Take care.